All right, folks, we got the Friday edition of the MJ Morning Show starting right now. We start off with some really bad news. We've got a Pinellas County deputy sheriff who has lost his life overnight. We have a traffic nightmare on I-275. Fester, I guess, Froggy, is he ensnared? Because we sent the group text out, hey, take the Gandy, don't get on the Howard Franklin or avoid 275 because of the issue. All right, first of all, traffic-wise, I-275. So as we come on the air here at 6:01 here on a Friday, you got MJ and Fester in studio. Now, Roxanne's off today, but we will check in with her later on. She's up in North Carolina. And then Froggy, no idea where he is, but I-275 northbound is closed at Gandy. So you can exit at Gandy and then take Roosevelt to re-enter. I-275 southbound in Pinellas County is closed at Ulmerton and MLK. That's the exit that we typically take. Remember, 4th Street has been closed for quite some time while they do all the construction. So southbound 275 is closed at Ulmerton, so you can take the exit at Ulmerton and MLK. But, of course, everything is backing up everywhere. Hey, Pat George is joining us in the studio. We have a deputy that was killed in a hit-and-run crash. The suspect is still out there. They don't have the suspect. So the driver of a hit-and-run crash involving a Pinellas County deputy sheriff is still on the run. And the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office, they're saying the accident occurred a little after 11 o'clock last night around 275 and Roosevelt. We don't know the name of the deputy sheriff. We don't know the details of the incident.
And it looks like that happened in the northbound lanes. We thought it was southbound, but the staging is in the southbound.
Right.
And the press conference from the sheriff will be at 6:15.
Okay. All right. Pat George, I just gave out the information on traffic as we come on the air. So northbound is closed at Gandy, so cars will exit at Gandy, and then you can take Roosevelt to get back onto
MLK to get
275 to get back onto 275 North, and then southbound 275 is closed at Ulmerton and MLK.
Correct.
So you can exit there.
And that's funneling down. Normally there's 2 lanes there. It's funneling down to 1 lane.
All right. So I took the Gandy in this morning. So instead of being in South Tampa, close to 275 in the West Shore area, I took Gandy instead of even messing with the Howard Franklin, because remember a couple of months ago, we all got stuck in traffic on the Howard Franklin for like an hour, and we were all, late by half an hour to get here.
Yeah, I came down 275 from the Bears area, and all the interstate signs said that the interstate was closed at Ulmerton, and I took through downtown, the Leroy Selman, then the Gandy flyover, and I got to St. Petersburg at about the same time I would have normally.
So where the hell's Froggy?
I don't know.
Does he not pay attention? Well, he doesn't. He doesn't pay attention. Hey, Pat, thanks a lot. And obviously, the most important issue here is that we lost a Pinellas County deputy sheriff late last night, and that is most important. We don't know the details of the accident. The suspect that apparently hit the deputy, whatever the situation is, whatever the involvement is, the suspect involved in the death of the Pinellas County deputy sheriff is still on the run, still at large, according to authorities. So, is Froggy texting you?
Yeah,
or what?
He sent us a message as the show started.
Yep.
He didn't read any of his texts.
What a schmuck.
Yeah, he's on the Howard Franklin Bridge. I think he said he turned around maybe last minute, and he said he's going to take the Gandy. I don't know.
Well, I told him at 5:10 this morning, take the Gandy.
Yeah, he doesn't check his messages. I sent you a message, I think, before 5 a.m. or maybe just after.
He's just an irresponsible wad. We left all the messages for the guy. It's like, how much more do we have to do?
I don't know.
Don't take the Howard Franklin. Take the Gandy. Hey, also, watching this little tropical wave now, right?
Yeah, this is coming right into... into the Gulf.
It's coming into the Gulf, but I don't want you to say
No. It's not coming into the mouth of Tampa Bay. It's not coming anywhere. We don't know where it's going to go. It's way far out.
Do me a favor. Don't say anything. Because
all I said is coming into the Gulf.
All right. So
Every model shows it coming into the Gulf of Mexico.
But it looks like some of the model runs shifted overnight a little bit, whereas a lot of the runs were kind of pushing it through the center of the Gulf. It looks like some of the model runs are pushing it a little closer toward the Florida Peninsula at this point. So we're going to have to keep our eyes on this. We have tropical activity. It was invest. It was an invest as of late last night, and then now we're dealing with a a tropical wave or whatever we want to call this thing. But we have obviously the need to pay close attention to what the hell's going to happen next week. Yeah, I'm looking at the various model runs. What are they calling this thing now? Now it's Tropical Depression number 9. So again, we have a tropical depression now that we have to worry about, and it is still days away. It'll probably be Wednesday of next week before we have an idea of where it's going to hit. But we're looking at the cone of uncertainty from the National Hurricane Center, and at this point we are totally in the cone. The whole state of Florida, the whole southern part of the Keys, all the way up through South Florida and into the West Coast here, we are in that cone of uncertainty for this tropical depression number 9 now, which looks like it's headed for a name, and the name would be Hermine, I guess, is what this would be called. Yeah, Pat is back in the studio. Yeah, Pat.
Things are changing quickly. It looks like Roosevelt and Gandy now, and they have Pinellas deputies. They're not allowing you to take MLK North. I guess it was getting too heavy, so even deputies at the apartment complexes are not allowing you to go out on MLK, so they're forcing you pretty much to use the Gandy Bridge to go back into Hillsborough County.
Okay, so now use Gandy, apparently. All right, so that is I-275 northbound. They're going to make you take the Gandy instead of getting back on. All right, so big traffic mess. We have a deputy sheriff that lost his life overnight, late last night, so we'll give you all the details on that. We don't know where Froggy is. I guess he's detouring himself because he didn't pay attention to our texts early this morning. Folks, stand by. We're back in a second. We're just getting rolling on a Friday. Oh, Froggy's already ticked at me because I kind of blew off his game show yesterday. I'm just apprehensive about this new crackhead karaoke, all right? I'm sure this is going to be a topic of discussion in just a bit when he gets here. At MJ Morning Show, getting rolling on a Friday, 6:08. Let's grab traffic. Pat with the latest, back in a second.
Major.
Show on Q105. MJ and the crew here. It's just me, MJ, and Fester at this point. Roxanne, scheduled day off. She's up in the mountains of North Carolina. We will check in. She said she'd be available to talk after 7. And there was something we were going to talk to her about. There was something, I got to look at my notes, but we were going to call her potentially on something. But then she sent us a text yesterday that she started throwing up in the airport. So she's waiting for her flight at Tampa International yesterday afternoon, and apparently she starts hurling in the airport, and then she wants to blame that one chip challenge that she did earlier this week with that, what is it? How the hell do you pronounce that thing? Pocky, P-A-Q-U, what is it?
Yeah, I mean, Pocky sounds right.
Pocky. It's this one chip challenge where this company has come up with this ingenious racket to sell you one tortilla chip, like one Dorito, maybe a little bit larger than a standard tortilla chip. This company sells you one chip for $9. It's like $8.99 or something. Literally, one chip wrapped up in a wrapper. One chip. That's it.
But it's an experience. I mean, you're not buying it to enjoy a big bag of chips with salsa. You're buying it for the challenge.
But the deal is, it's made with among the hottest peppers on the planet. Like the one that we have, it's like the chip number 2. It's the 2022 chip.
It's like the Carolina Reaper.
Yeah, it's made with like 2 hot peppers that are, they'll burn your face off. And Roxanne just took a bite, which encompassed maybe, 8% of the chip. And, she was, coughing and gagging here in the studio. She didn't take the whole chip. The one chip challenge, the 2022 chip, if you look right there, it's the Reaper pepper and the Scorpion pepper, and it even will turn your tongue blue. So she's now, what day did we do this? Did we do it on Wednesday?
Yes.
Okay, we did it on Wednesday.
Wednesday morning.
And then she's blaming the chip for apparently throwing up in the airport yesterday on the way to Charlotte, North Carolina.
Some 30 hours later. I don't know if that's right.
Well, some 30. No, it's more than that. We did the chip thing at like 8 o'clock. We did the chip thing 8 o'clock on Wednesday morning.
Right. Yesterday was Thursday.
To Thursday morning, that would be 24 hours.
Right. And then
so it would be almost 48 hours later. Friday. What are we talking about?
Today's Friday. Yesterday was Thursday.
What am I thinking?
She did it Wednesday.
Wait a sec. Today,
7 o'clock Wednesday morning to 7 o'clock Thursday.
Hold on. What the hell do I have in my head?
I don't know, but I'm exactly right on my hours.
Hold on. Smack me in the head. Wait a minute. What? I know it's early, but what? Wait a minute. What? Do I think this is Saturday morning?
No, it's not Saturday.
It's a special Saturday morning edition of the MJ Morning Show. What the hell is? Maybe I clocked my head a little too. Maybe I really clocked my head a little too hard when I hit the mirror in front of my toilet last weekend.
So again, Roxanne had it at 7.
I'm still trying to figure out what the hell I was thinking.
Nobody knows.
So wait a minute. Today's Friday morning.
Right.
All right. It is 6:22 in the morning on Friday morning, and this is January 16th, right? Is that correct? All right, I'm kidding. I'm joking.
You're off by a little bit.
All right, it's September 23rd. This is Friday, September 23rd, and what was I thinking?
I don't know. I have no idea.
I must have been thinking Tuesday.
Right.
Okay.
So Tuesday we did the story about the Pockies, and you gave me the call. Hey, find them somewhere.
All right, so we did it on Wednesday morning. So that's right. You know what? I'll tell you what's in my head. In my head that she was leaving on Friday morning when in fact she left on Thursday morning. That's what I screwed up. All right, it's not a head injury, folks. I'm okay.
All right.
Well, it still could be. No. I just thought that she was left on Friday when today is Friday, but she left on Thursday. So you're right. It was a little over 24 hours, so 30 hours. Excuse me, Fester.
It's all right.
I apologize.
It's all right.
But she's blaming the chip from Wednesday for upchucking in the airport yesterday. We'll get the whole story from her coming up in just a bit. We still have no Froggy. We gave him early warning in the 5 o'clock hour. Hey, don't take the Howard Franklin. If you are just getting up, if you are headed to 275 north or south in Pinellas County, you want to reconsider a couple of things here. Because we had a hit and run late last night after 11 a.m. or p.m. rather. We had a hit and run. A Pinellas County deputy sheriff has lost their life. We don't have details yet. There is supposed to be a presser coming up shortly with the Pinellas County Sheriff Gualtieri, and we'll hopefully know some more details. But there is a gigantic traffic snarl. And it looks like I'm trying to on southbound 275.
So if you take the bridge,
if you take the Howard Franklin Bridge
from Tampa to St. Petersburg,
southbound. So if you take the Howard Franklin from Hillsborough, Tampa over to St. Pete, the traffic is going to be all jammed up. and it's getting worse as the morning progresses here because the commute's just beginning. All traffic on 275 southbound is exiting at Ulmerton and MLK. So you cannot, it looks like they might have opened northbound. All right, hold on. Pat just walked in here. All right, Pat, grab the mic, talk right into the microphone there. What do you have?
I cannot believe the press conference we just heard. This was a deputy that was doing off-duty construction work.
Oh, my God.
And he arrived around 10:30.
Yep.
Got out of his vehicle and was facing northbound. And a construction worker bringing a front-end loader with the big forks on the front that moved the big concrete barriers struck and killed him instantly.
Oh, my God. So
then the construction worker kept going north, got out of the construction forklift, told another worker he had just struck and killed the deputy, took off his helmet and vest, got in a car and fled.
And fled the scene?
Yes.
All right, folks, this is now breaking news. Hold on a minute. Here's Gualtieri, the sheriff of Pinellas County. He's speaking right now.
And he should have rendered aid, and he certainly should have acknowledged what he did, as opposed to fleeing and now being a fugitive. So happy to take any questions that you all have, and that's about what we know at this point.
Do you know if any prior arrests on Vasquez?
I don't know. I'll be honest with you, is that there's even some, question as to who he is. We're still trying to flush that out now. We're going to put out a photograph of him. Our public information office will put a photograph out to you. I really ask you all, and hope you will, is to share that photograph as far and wide as you can. And anybody out there, the last known address for Vasquez is in Tampa. Anybody out there that knows where he is right now, please call the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office or the Tampa Police Department if he's in Tampa. Let us know because we really want to get him in custody. The best way that we can do that right now is with the public's help, with your help, and to share that photograph because we got a lot of assets and resources. You can hear the helicopter up above as we're standing here now. We've got K-9 teams out. With the help of the St. Pete Police Department, other law enforcement agencies, we're just saturating the area. But this guy needs to be in custody.
This is unbelievable. So we just heard the breaking news that a construction worker by the name of Vasquez.
Yeah, so, Mike's been with us for 19 years. I know him. He was assigned to the patrol division. He was working out of our North District station on a night shift. He's a patrol deputy, a guy who for 19 years dedicated his life to protecting and serving the people of Pinellas County and doing what cops do every day. Mike was a good guy. He was a good cop, did his job. He's got some adult children, and, of course, they've been notified. He just went through a divorce. His most recent former wife is living out of the area. Does have some other family members, again, in the area, but they are adult children. And his mother's still alive. She's been notified. His father's deceased. That's pretty much what I can tell you about Mike.
We did not hear the last name, but the first name of the deputy that was killed.
It was, yes, an overtime detail, yeah.
So the deputy's first name is Mike.
51 years old.
Did he say 51? All right, so we just have the first name of the deputy is Mike, doing off-duty
there's
detail.
Probably hundreds of cops out here trying to get this guy in custody. He killed a cop and he ran, and we need to get him in custody. He needs to be accountable for what he did. And
all right, here's what we know. We were listening to Sheriff Bob Gualtieri, the Pinellas County Sheriff. A deputy lost his life last night a little after 11 o'clock, apparently. And what is just breaking is that this deputy was doing off-duty construction detail. So you've seen in construction zones, you see either the Florida Highway Patrol, local police, sheriff's offices. They'll do traffic control, or they'll sit at a construction scene, the flashing lights to try to keep people away from the shoulders and slow people down. And apparently this deputy for Pinellas County was showing up to the construction scene on 275 in the Roosevelt area, and we're hearing that some construction worker by the name of Vasquez struck the deputy with construction equipment and then fled the scene. So this is not some driver on 275 that veered off and hit a deputy. This is a construction worker that Pat said was operating some kind of a front end loader with barriers, maybe those Jersey barricades, those big concrete barriers, and killed the deputy. And then the construction worker fled the scene, and now the construction worker, this Vasquez guy, is a fugitive after killing the deputy. What the hell is going on here? It's unbelievable. Do we have the name of the deputy sheriff yet? Because all I heard was Mike.
Yeah, I heard Mike. I'm looking for updated stories as we speak.
All right, so we'll get the name of the deputy. I think I heard that he was a 19-year veteran of the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office. And I heard Mike, and I think I heard it was a 51-year-old deputy. We'll get all the information. I mean, literally just developing and breaking, before our eyes. We listened to a little bit of the sheriff live from Pinellas County, but missed the very beginning where I think he gave some more of the details. But what a crazy story to have a construction worker hit a deputy sheriff doing off-duty.
And then walk off the job.
And then flee. Hang on a minute. Yeah, Andrew.
Deputy Michael Hartwick.
All right. Hartwick?
Correct.
All right, so there we go. Thank you, Andrew. So it's Pinellas County Deputy Sheriff Michael Hartwick has lost his life doing off-duty, overtime, construction, what do you call that? Traffic detail. Yeah.
It's not even, it's
off-duty traffic detail.
But to have the lights on, to let people know traffic's here, slow down for the people working the construction
scene.
But
those cops are there because of the motorists. Those cops are not there because you got a potential problem with a construction worker at the construction site that you're working off duty on. That's crazy. Yeah, Andrew.
Yeah, they haven't posted an image of him yet, but the construction worker's name, Victor Vasquez.
Victor Vasquez. Also with that name, sometimes it's pronounced Vasquez and sometimes it's pronounced Vasquez. So I don't know. So Victor Vasquez is now the construction worker on the lam, has fled the scene. All right, we're trying to put all this together. What a crazy story. And, of course, our thoughts go out to the colleagues and the family of the deceased Pinellas County Deputy Sheriff Mike Hartwick. Just doing some off-duty work at a construction site on I-275, and you got a construction worker that kills him. What the hell's going on? All right, back in a second. We'll get into some early morning morons in the news in just a minute. Our eyes are on, obviously, this tropical depression, number 9, which is getting a little more organized. And where's this thing headed? The models have it coming toward Florida at this point, but it's still quite a distance out, and we know these things shift and change all the time. All right, I want to talk about our friends at Plan B AC. Everybody at some point will have an air conditioning problem. It's one of those deals where it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of... got the MJ Morning Show, and Froggy has arrived. I'm sorry, but Fester and I think in unison can probably say that you're a schmuck,
schmuck on
wheels. There we go.
Wasn't very in unison. You guys might want to work on that.
I thought he was going to say it for our group. I didn't know it was a sing-along. But yeah, you're kind of a schmuck on wheels.
Froggy's arrived.
Here.
Terrible traffic mess. A terrible situation with a Pinellas County deputy sheriff has been killed by a construction worker at the construction site where he was doing off-duty traffic work. When you have a police officer that is at a construction site, like on the interstate, they sit off on the shoulder, the lights are flashing to slow people down, to keep the construction workers safe. And then we have a construction worker that actually kills the deputy in an accident and then flees the scene. All right, hang on, Froggy, I'll deal with you in a second. I've got early morons in the news in just a minute. Andrew, our producer, do you have the sheriff? You have Gualtieri queued up from...
Yes, I do.
All right, roll the audio. Listen to this. This is just a little while ago from the presser.
All right, good morning. I'm Pinellas County Sheriff Bob Gualtieri, and we're here this morning to talk about the death of a deputy overnight. What happened is about 10:30 last night, Deputy Michael Hartwick, who is 51 years old, been with the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office for 19 years, was working a traffic detail on I-275 north of Gandy. There's a lot of construction going on 275, and he was assigned to assist the construction crews and provide for safety for them as they did overnight construction work on the interstate. Deputy Hartwick arrived around 10:30 last night at his assigned post. He had his emergency equipment on, was blocking the two inside southbound lanes of I-275. He got out of his cruiser after he parked there, and there were cones up and down, clearly blocking the traffic lanes. He got out of his cruiser, was standing on the shoulder of the road, and from what we can determine through the investigation, he was facing to the north. So again, his cruiser was facing south. He was blocking the southbound lanes, and he was standing on the shoulder of the road facing northbound. One of the construction crews that was going to pick up the concrete barriers to block off more permanent lane markings on the interstate was traveling northbound, and it was a big, huge construction front loader with the big forklifts on it to move these 1,000-pound concrete barriers.
Like Jersey barriers, right?
As Deputy Hartwick was facing to the north, the loader, driven by a Hispanic male by the name of Victor Vasquez, struck Deputy Hartwick and killed him instantly, and he died at the scene. After hitting Deputy Hartwick, Vasquez continued north, probably for about a quarter of a mile, pulled the loader off into a parking area, got out, told another construction worker that he had just killed a deputy, and took off his helmet, took off his vest, and began running from the scene.
My God.
The other worker took his vest and his helmet and hid it in a wooded area to the west of the location. Vasquez is still at large. We're seeking him now actively. Again, his name is Victor Vasquez. He's a Hispanic male, about 35 years old. We believe that he's still on foot somewhere in the area. And again, it's an active scene. We're actively looking for him.
This is unbelievable. All right, I thought that he got into his vehicle and fled, so he fled on foot. And this was at, 10:45 or 11 o'clock or so last night.
If you go outside right now, all you hear is sirens. I don't know if they're just looking for him or what.
Yeah,
but it
they're
is
looking for him.
Crazy out
They're
there.
looking for this guy. So this Victor Vasquez, 35 years old, this construction worker, he kills a deputy doing off-duty traffic control. This is on 275 southbound, a little north of Gandy, and the construction worker drops or rams into the deputy with a 1,000-pound concrete barrier, kills the deputy. He flees, tells another construction worker he just killed the deputy.
And then did they say that guy hid
It sounded
the criminal stuff?
It sounded like that this Vasquez guy took off his construction vest and hard hat, and then another construction worker hid that in the woods.
Well, okay. I don't want to make yourself.
What the hell is going on here? What kind of folks are doing construction over there?
I don't know, man. What a horrific story.
This is absolutely awful. All right, so we'll follow it. Our thoughts go out to all of the Pinellas County deputy sheriffs, the whole agency. What a terrible story. And to the family, the friends of Pinellas County Deputy Michael Hartwick, who was killed late last night. And now we've got a fugitive construction worker that they're actively pursuing. What a crazy story. And, of course, you want to avoid 275.
Everything's blocked.
Avoid the Howard Franklin Bridge. All right. So, Froggy, I texted you.
I didn't get your text.
Dude, I texted you at 5:10 this morning. I said, hey, I'm taking the Gandy. Everyone should avoid. I'm sorry. Yeah. I said, I'm taking the Gandy. I said,
Andrew said it's not that bad yet.
I texted you and I said, I just preemptively early, I sent out a message to the group and I said, I'm taking the Gandy just to be safe. Again. And then I texted again at 5:20. I said, I'm taking the Gandy. I'm not messing with the Howard Franklin Bridge. And that was at a little after 5 o'clock this morning. And you don't check your text messages. And that's why you were 45 minutes late getting to the show.
42 minutes.
All right. So where were you? What happened to you? Where did you finally realize there was a problem? Did you ever see any of our texts?
I was actually running really early this morning, and I got to the exit that we usually take, and that's when I noticed it was backed up when I got to the exit. So then I go, oh, let me check my text and see if they texted.
Wait a minute. Hold on. You got across the Howard Franklin Bridge?
Yeah. I was all the way at the exit, and then I got backed up right before the exit.
So you were just about to get off at Ulmerton and MLK on 275 South.
And then it just got really backed up there.
Right, so what took you that long to get to work?
Then,
yes.
So the exit was closed. I couldn't get off, so I go, okay.
Oh, I thought the exit's open because they're letting people, that's how they're getting people off at 275 South.
So this time it was closed.
Froggy saw a backup. The exit is funneled down to one lane, and he probably saw several thousand cars in front of him.
So what did you can't...
I saw cops parked in the middle of the road.
Where did you go?
I accidentally got back on the Howard Franklin and had to go all the way back across it.
You hung a U-turn on the...
Wait a sec. If you're getting off at our exit on 275 South, how did you get back on the Howard Franklin and head north again?
Because I couldn't take a left because the cops had it blocked off with their cars, so I took a right.
You mean MLK?
Yes.
It forks to Ulmerton.
Yes.
And to the right, and then it goes MLK to the left.
Yes. I went to Ulmerton. And then I go, I'll just make a U-turn and pop back on.
He made a U-turn on Ulmerton thinking it would take him to 9th, but it doesn't. It puts you back on the interstate.
And
on
I didn't
Howard
realize
Franklin.
that. So I'm like, wait a minute. I'm back on the Howard Franklin.
Dude, you are...
So I had to go all the way back down.
You got off on Ulmerton. Yes. I know this now. You would have been better off staying till it hit like Roosevelt and then making that left.
Right.
Well, you know, with me in directions.
Yeah, so Froggy makes a U-turn thinking you're going to hoodwink the whole traffic mess by getting back on 9th or even 4th.
How do you function? How do you run your family's business?
Oh, very mediocre.
Surprisingly mediocre. Yeah. The old man's thinking about coming out of retirement.
No, I do that well. I'm just not good with senses of directions.
So that you go all the way back across the Howard Franklin to Tampa.
And that was a very relaxing drive.
Well, because there's no traffic.
It's wide open.
All right, so that you get off where?
Then I take the Kennedy.
The Kennedy exit.
Then I get
West Shore,
and then I go to Gandy.
Gandy. Oh, my God.
And then I go all the way across the Gandy back to 4th.
You're on a total tour of the Tampa Bay area this morning.
It's lovely
just
this
trying
time
to get
of the
to
day.
work.
It's lovely.
So,
I drove right past your area where you live.
Tell you what. Why don't you check your text every morning before you leave the house? Because I would have...
I'm going to start doing that.
I would have been your savior this morning by saying, I'm taking the Gandy.
I just couldn't believe this. It's like the fourth time in a month we've had to do it. And I was just like, there's no way.
MJ, the important thing about this whole debacle with Froggy is this is something that thousands and thousands and thousands of our listeners are going to be impacted by this morning.
Oh, absolutely.
The tragic stories behind all of this.
Absolutely.
But just plan ahead.
Don't get too upset on the road. Think about,
Yeah, there's a lot going on
a
today.
lot going on.
I didn't even
Stay
get to the
calm.
early morons in the news. So,
Well, we had Froggy.
I guess Froggy is our first early moron in the news story.
Moron on the streets.
Yeah, moron in the news, on the streets, moron who won't check his text messages before he leaves
I don't
the
even know.
house.
Where's my phone at? I lost my phone already.
Don't even know where your phone is.
I don't know where my phone is. Probably still in your car.
No wonder why you can't get your text messages. You don't even know where your damn phone is. All right, hang on. It feels like we're just getting rolling here, but we've been here almost an hour already here on the MJ Morning Show. All right, let's take your mind off of all the crazy stuff. Hey, our eyes are on this tropical depression at this point. We've got tropical depression, number 9? And the cone of uncertainty now has the state of Florida as a potential target for this potential hurricane sometime mid next week. So hold on. We're watching that this morning. But tell you what, we'll give you some early morons in the news next. How about that? So you can revel in these other idiots, and it'll just make you feel good. When you hear about these other idiots, it's self-help. It'll make you feel better about yourself. All right, next on the MJ Morning Show here on Q105. Hey, I spoke. with Fester and Froggy. Rock's out today, but we will check in with Roxanne a little later this morning on a couple of things, including the fact that she claims that she hurled at Tampa International Airport, and she's blaming the one chip challenge, that spicy hot chip that she tried on Wednesday's show. So that's coming up in just a bit. Folks, we have a massive traffic issue this morning. Avoid the Howard Franklin Bridge. And this all stems from a terrible story of a Pinellas County deputy sheriff doing off-duty traffic control in the construction site, not on the Howard Franklin, but over the Howard Franklin, southbound 275, just a little north of Gandy, and the deputy was struck and killed by a construction worker with a front end loader and a giant concrete barricade, and then the construction worker fled the scene. And a manhunt is on now for the construction worker that killed the deputy sheriff. And our hearts and prayers go out to all of the family and the colleagues of Pinellas County Deputy Sheriff Mike Hartwick, 51 years old, with the agency for 19 years, and was killed by a construction worker who has fled the scene. And this happened at about 11 o'clock last night, 10:45, somewhere in that vicinity. Just a terrible situation. Howard Franklin Bridge southbound is a mess. Just avoid the Howard Franklin, at all costs. Even northbound, just traffic is just a mess in both directions as the investigation and the manhunt for the construction worker rolls on. All right, 7:05, it's the MJ Morning Show. The early morons in the news just running a little late today because of all the activity going on. I said just a moment ago that, hey, we're heading into the weekend here. We've got college football tomorrow. We've got the NFL on Sunday. So I've got some football-related morons in the news.
Good.
All right, couple of things here. First of all, I would not threaten to blow up a nuclear reactor if your football team loses.
All right.
I think that's sound judgment, sound advice. Would you agree?
Where's their nuclear reactor?
Well, there are nuclear reactors all over the place, but in this case, a University of Utah student has been arrested. He threatened to detonate a nuclear reactor on campus.
That's quite the threat.
Now, they don't have a nuclear reactor, I don't think, like a power plant, like at Crystal River or something. Are those running?
Like Homer Simpson works on?
Yeah, exactly. I don't think it's like that. Is Crystal River, are those nuclear reactors north of us? Are those still online?
I don't know.
What's the story up there?
Let me check.
Yeah. I remember years ago somebody sent me those potassium iodide tablets just in case there was a Crystal River problem. Anyway, Salt Lake City police wrote in their arrest affidavit that a 21-year-old said if the football team did not win the game, they were going to detonate the nuclear reactor that's located in the University of Utah, causing a mass destruction. Would you think this would be a guy or a girl? Male or female making this threat? Inherently, what would you guess? You'd gravitate toward...
Generally, I think the people who make nuclear threats...
Say that word again?
Nuclear.
No, it's nuclear.
No. I pronounce it the George H.W. Bush way.
That's the Jimmy Carter way, the George H.W. Bush way, the George W. Bush way. No, the Clinton way. No, it's nuclear.
No. You put the U in nuclear.
No, I'm pronouncing it properly.
No. So most of my threats, I always associate men with dumb threats.
That would be wrong. This is a woman.
Wow.
This is a female nuclear threat. The woman was booked into a Salt Lake County jail earlier this week on Wednesday for investigation and making a threat of terrorism. The woman made the threat on the social media app Yik Yak. What the hell is Yik Yak?
I've never heard of that, but I love it. I want to join Yik Yak.
There's an app called Yik Yak.
The Yik Yak app.
Yik Yak.
I like the name.
Guess what its mascot is?
I never. It's a yak.
A yak.
My God.
Where you get to find your herd on Yik Yak, anonymously connect with everyone within 5 miles.
Anonymously, wow.
Yik Yak. I never heard of this damn thing. See, I love doing morons in the news. I learn something new every day.
I go on Yakety
Guess
Sack.
what? I need another social media app on my phone like I need a decapitation. All right? Let me tell you that right now. So the police affidavit noted that the woman is aware of where the reactor is located and attends class in the same building where the reactor is housed. What kind of nuclear reactor do they have on campus at the University of Utah in Salt Lake City?
I'm sure they have like a power system on campus. They probably have a.
Why?
No. What are you talking?
I don't know.
I'm sure it's a scientific reactor, like a small reactor, probably in the physics department, or it's a science reactor. It's not their power reactor for the campus.
You should have.
Bunsen burner.
We're powering the lunchroom. We're powering the cafeteria, the gymnasium. Oh, we're powering the football lights in the stadium with the nuclear reactor. No, this is going to be a scientific reactor.
All right,
I'm
fine.
guessing.
Sucker's nuclear.
You know, why don't you ask the person making these threats?
Hang on a sec. I'm looking up more details on my phone here. Hang on a minute.
She knows where.
Yeah. Hang on a minute.
What?
Hang on. I'm on my phone. I'm looking for. Oh, here we go. Look at this. The reactor is located in the university's Merrill Engineering Building and used in student and faculty research.
Oh my
Wow.
God, it'll take out half the town.
The woman made the threat on the social media app Yik Yak
Yeah, I'm downloading
That-
Yik Yak as we speak.
that if the University of Utah football team didn't win, that she would blow up the reactor. So they lost. Utah lost to San Diego State. But luckily,
Oh, no.
she did not blow up the reactor. What a schmuck.
Thank God.
That's why we call it morons of the news. And I would have pegged that for a guy, dimwit.
Yeah,
and
imagine-
that was a female fool.
The halftime speech to the team.
Yeah.
Guys, we have to win, you know.
That's
The
crazy.
campus is under nuclear threat.
All right, Pat George just rolled in. Pat, our traffic guy, just rolled into the studio. Yeah, Pat.
If you're in Pinellas County, you probably can see the procession right now with the deputy's body in the ambulance and about 25 deputy cars going through Pinellas County, and they've got the streets blocked off.
Oh, this is awful. Where is the procession now? Do you know which road it's on?
I think it is going down Gandy. I couldn't tell the road,
Okay.
but it is. They've got everything off, and it's about, like I said, the ambulance, about 6 deputies. In
So, like
front.
Gandy to-
people are seeing this. That's what's going on.
Right, so Gandy to Park, you
Correct.
think, is where it's headed?
Right.
All right, again, Pinellas County Deputy Sheriff Mike Hartwick lost his life overnight. Late last night was doing off-duty construction traffic control and was killed by a construction worker. He was hit by a front-end loader carrying a heavy concrete barrier. The deputy died instantly, and the construction worker has fled. And there's a manhunt on for Victor Vasquez, a 35-year-old Hispanic male who was the construction worker. I mean, what a crazy story. Insane. All right, 2 other quick football stories here. So it's early morons in the news, the football edition. And I've had a couple of these for a couple of days, but still, as we head into a football weekend, college and pro, I thought this was interesting. Listen to this one. The Eagles, and I'm not an Eagles fan, the Philadelphia Eagles, those fans are nasty. They're probably the worst fans in the NFL, the Philadelphia Eagles fans.
Oh, I was going to say Hotel California's not that bad. I thought you were talking about the band.
No.
Like, they're not that bad.
Listen to this. Philadelphia Eagles punt returner Britton Covey had to park a half a mile away from the player's entrance last Sunday. The security guard did not believe he was a player.
Have you seen this guy? I would believe he's not a player also.
He's the what? The punter or punt returner?
No, he's a punt returner.
Okay.
What a player. He's not a. So he had to park in a public parking lot with other Eagles fans who were tailgating. Yeah, he was called up from the practice squad to the active roster on Sunday, and the security would not let the guy park. He had to park a half mile away and walk like he was some fan schlub with a grill in the parking lot.
How dejecting.
Okay, hold on. He's been on the team for like 20 seconds.
They called him up. Yes.
Yes. So and he doesn't look like what you would associate anybody who plays in the NFL with.
Only a few tailgaters recognized Covey and helped him find his way through the parking lot to the player's entrance. So the tailgating fans had to help this guy get to the actual player's entrance to get into the stadium because he's on the Eagles now.
You know, that's a good fan to recognize the rookie punt returner
Oh, man.
parking. Hey, aren't you the rookie punt?
And-
I would never know the rookie punt returner of the Bucks.
And then quickly here, from from the college football side of things, and I love this story as well. A quarterback's car for Texas was towed during the game.
You got to be careful where you park, man.
Especially, man, college, you know. Yeah, what do they call it? It's like public safety or student safety. Yeah, college, you got to watch out for the college police, folks. So Quinn Evers' college football career got off to a pretty good start. This was last week? Texas beat Louisiana Monroe 52-10, right? And turns out that he parked his car, I guess, illegally. Freshman quarterback got his car towed during the game. There was a parking pass mix-up. So can you imagine that? So the family had to retrieve his car, a $200 fee for the towing charge and whatever the fines were.
You figure in Texas, you maybe let the quarterback off.
Is that unbelievable? Anyway, so he won his first game, but his car got towed. That's funny stuff,
What
man.
kind of car does the quarterback of Texas drive? Like a Corolla or something?
Didn't say what kind of car. I would say probably an old F-150
Probably.
or a Silverado is what I'm going
He
with.
swapped parking passes with his parents, and they towed his Porsche.
the story it was a Porsche?
I just typed it in as you were saying it. He drives a.
Wait, the freshman quarterback drives a Porsche?
Oh, college is a lot
What the
different
hell?
now.
Oh,
These guys are getting paid now.
What the really?
Yes.
Unbelievable.
NIL. Name, image, likeness. These guys are making money.
Oh my God. Yeah, hey, there you go.
Good for them.
All right, 7:15, you got the MJ Morning Show here on Q105. When we get back, we got a lot of things. You know, yesterday we kind of teased this about if you wear clothes and return it, is that fraud? People are up in the air on this thing. So hold on, we got to get into that coming up. Also, I want to know about your stash. Do you have a stash? What stash am I talking about? That and a lot of other things, including Roxanne throwing up at Tampa International yesterday. And she's blaming the chip. All right, hold on. All of this is on the way on the MJ Morning Show. We start the long chunk of the MJ Morning Show next. And, of course, we're watching Tropical Depression number 9 as it appears to be tracking further toward Florida now. So we'll bring you the latest on that as well here on the MJ Morning Show. If you're making a move. What does Alanis Morissette do these days? She just kind of went poof, didn't she?
You know what?
Kind of just disappeared.
I heard that when she did one of her concert tours,
Yeah.
Napster was the sponsor, and they paid her in stock, and she became worth $100 million, and she retired.
Well, no, but Napster,
Or-
Napster went to zero.
But it went,
Napster collapsed. Did she cash out?
yeah,
If she was holding the stock, she ended up with the jack.
She wasn't holding the bag. She made a lot of money
All
on
right.
that's what I heard.
Well, also, I think she made a lot of money because she sold a lot of albums, a lot of
No.
CDs with that.
She had a mediocre music
was
career.
Jagged Little Pill.
Yeah, that's it. Jagged Little Pill. Was that the name of the CD, right?
That album's good.
That whole album is pretty good. I mean, she was smoking hot career wise, in the mid '90s, and then
career wise,
just gone.
And then when she was on Curb Your Enthusiasm,
Oh, that's
that
right.
was the peak of her career.
All right, 7:25. It's the MJ Morning Show. There is a procession going on right now in Pinellas County with the body of Pinellas County Deputy Sheriff Mike Hartwick, who just showed up to do an off-duty detail last night, never suspecting it would be his last moments on planet Earth. I mean, I just can't believe this. So the traffic is a nightmare this morning on I-275 southbound near Ulmerton and MLK southbound. Obviously, big effects on 275 northbound as well. It turns out that a construction worker ran into the deputy sheriff that was doing off-duty traffic control, nighttime, overnight traffic control as they're doing construction overnight. And this happened on 275 southbound, just a little north of Gandy in a construction area. And the deputy sheriff shows up for work at 10:30 last night. And the construction worker, Victor Vasquez, a 35-year-old construction worker, was operating a big front-end loader, hauling a big, giant chunk of concrete, one of those barriers, and ran into the deputy. The deputy got out of his car, and apparently the deputy was crushed. And then the construction worker, instead of staying there trying to render aid or just stay at the scene, the construction worker then fled. So there's a manhunt on for 35-year-old Victor Vasquez of Tampa. And then there's a report that another worker took his construction vest and helmet and then hit it.
So that's not a report. That came straight from the sheriff in his press conference.
Yeah, we've got the audio bites, so we'll get to those a little later on. So stand by. We've got a couple of sound bites from the sheriff of Pinellas County's presser, so we'll play those a little later on. But just a crazy story. So really avoid the Howard Franklin Bridge at all costs today. And now through Pinellas County. Is that on Park Boulevard? Do we know where this is? I'm trying to I'm looking at aerial video right now of an ambulance carrying the body of Mike Hartwick, Pinellas County Deputy Sheriff. And there is a procession right now in Pinellas County of many sheriff's office vehicles and the ambulance. Now, is there audio on this?
I don't know. This is off of Facebook Live.
No, there's no audio on it, but I don't know what road that is. But
Go back to it.
Is there?
I don't know.
Yeah, there's no audio on
Okay,
this.
all
Yeah,
right.
we're just looking at an aerial shot from some of the TV stations. Just a terrible situation. And here at the MJ Morning Show, our thoughts and prayers go out to all. Oh, it's on Ulmerton? Okay, so the procession is just turning off of Ulmerton Road right now. And we're looking at into the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office headquarters, apparently. And there are just dozens of vehicles that are following this procession. Our hearts and prayers go out to all the colleagues, all of the family and friends of Deputy Sheriff Mike Hartwick, served for over 19 years, apparently, and just doing off-duty traffic control detail this morning, loses his life in a construction mishap. And then we have the construction worker flees the scene and is now a fugitive. I mean, just crazy stuff. I mean, what do you say?
I've never heard of a story like this or a situation like this where the construction worker hits a deputy, takes off. This is the first time ever.
It's crazy. All right, a lot of things we got to get to here on the MJ Morning Show. We are watching this tropical depression number 9 Again, folks, we've seen these systems. We've seen them wobble all over the place. You have storms that are coming right at us, then they go somewhere else. But you got to watch this thing. There were some model shifts overnight, and now we have Tropical Depression number 9. It is most likely to become a named storm. It'll be, an H storm? Is it Hermine? Is, I think, the name it would become if it does become a named storm. Right now, it's a Tropical Depression number 9. And if you look at the National Hurricane Center's forecast cone, the entire state of Florida is in the cone. And it looks like we would see effects on Wednesday. So, again, this thing could wobble more to the east, to the west. We'll keep our eyes on this thing. Obviously, be prepared. Hurricane season has been very quiet for us thus far, but it's heating up. So keep your eyes out because we could have tropical activity, maybe a hurricane heading in our general direction next week. So Tuesday into Wednesday next week. Right now, the forecast path from the National Hurricane Center seems to put it a couple hours south of us, in the Fort Myers, Naples area. But again, we've seen these storms wobble all over the place over the years. But something is headed in our general direction. It looks like it's going to make the curve toward the Florida Peninsula. That's at least what the latest models are telling us. Tropical Depression number 9.
And it's Hermine?
I think,
Isn't that a...
No. It's a tropical depression.
When it gets a name.
If it gets a name, I think it's Hermine, Hermine. Andrew,
It's Hermione.
Yeah, is it the Harry Potter
It's
character?
it's a wizard.
They named a storm after a Harry Potter character?
That storm's a wizard,
Andrew,
Harry.
can you confirm the pronunciation of this thing? And I think it's H. If it becomes a named storm, and it looks like it will, because it's predicted to become a hurricane sometime late Sunday night or early Monday morning. They think it's going to turn into a hurricane somewhere between Jamaica and Cuba. But the track now, it was tracking toward the center of the Gulf. It was tracking even toward the Yucatan Peninsula. And now they're moving this thing right toward Florida. So heads up, we've had a lull. We've been kind of sitting back thinking, hey, we're out of the woods here. It's been a quiet hurricane season. And now next week, mid-next week, we could be dealing with something here in Florida. So heads up, we got you covered here on the MJ Morning Show on Q105. But still, it's only a tropical depression right now, but it looks like it's headed in this general direction.
Hello, Hurricane Hermione. My name's Ron Weasley.
Hello.
I'm a wizard.
Hello, Ron.
Oh, geez,
I'm
guys.
a big storm. I'm going to hit the coast of Florida.
Yes, Andrew.
According to the pronunciation guide on the National Hurricane Center website, Hermine.
Yeah, that's what. Look at that. I had it right from the beginning.
Oh, no, it's Hermione.
Yeah,
No, it's not.
It's Hermione.
It's
going
a
forward.
wizard.
Guys, shut your mouths with
I want to have a wizarding.
Shut your faces with the Harry Potter crap,
It
okay?
blew through town like a game of Quidditch.
Fester, I'm not joking around with this thing. Why are you making jokes?
Yeah, why are you making jokes?
What if we get hit with a really bad hurricane? You're going to look like a schmuck.
Listen, first of all, me looking like a schmuck is nothing new. Second of all,
That's right. You are a professional schmuck.
yes. Second of
You
all,
know,
What do you do for a living?
I'm
I'm a schmuck.
it took my accountant an hour to find that in the tax
Occupation.
occupation.
Occupation on your tax form. Schmuck. That's what you got going on.
So listen, next week I'll be more serious when I know where it's going. If it's not coming here, it's still way out.
All right. Speaking of schmucks, did you see the passenger that smacked the American Airlines flight attendant in the back of the head? Holy moly. Hey, Andrew, is there any audio to that? I thought I heard like just some natural sound and a ooh. But this is awful. An American Airlines passenger was taken away by the FBI. A cell phone video caught a passenger on an American Airlines flight from Mexico to L.A., hit a flight attendant like a sucker punch, but to the back.
Yeah.
The flight attendant is walking away toward the front of the airplane, and a guy comes down the aisle and just whacks the flight attendant in the back of his head. It was a male flight attendant.
not cool.
We don't have the details on what precipitated this, but there is the guy wearing like a Hawaiian? What kind of shirt is that?
They're coming from Mexico. They're coming from maybe a resort town in Mexico, and
That looks like a shirt you would wear, Fester.
I would wear that
some kind of
shirt.
a hideous shirt that you would wear. All right, so I'm just trying to see if there's any damn audio on this.
I originally saw it on CNN.
Yeah,
and I saw the video. It looks like the flight attendant is walking toward the front of the plane.
That's what I'm saying. The flight attendant is walking toward the cockpit and then gets sucker punched from behind. Here, listen, here's the audio. Listen to this. They're having an argument on the airplane, and then the flight attendant. Listen.
Oh my God!
Look at. I mean, do you hear that? Oh my God! So that's the audio of what occurred. And of course you can't, the guy really got punched. The guy winds up, as you can see, the flight attendant is facing toward the rear of the plane in the aisle and having some kind of a verbal confrontation with the passenger. The flight attendant then goes to walk away. I don't know whether he was going to grab the phone to be able to talk to the flight deck to say, hey, we got a problem with the passenger. But as the flight attendant is walking away, that's when the passenger winds up from behind and just clocks him in the head.
Oh my God!
And there's the audio of the guy getting hit.
And then the guy walks back and just kind of goes back to his seat. D46.
That's called a Will Smith.
Yeah, the airline said that the assault took place on Flight 377 from San Jose del Cabo to LAX on Wednesday. According to the feds, the passenger was removed from the plane after a touchdown in L.A. and was detained on suspicion of interfering with a flight crew. I'll tell you right now, there's no suspicion. He smacked the back of the head of the flight attendant.
It's confirmed.
Yeah, we got video on this. What do you mean suspicion? There's no suspicion. And this is a federal felony. This is punishable by up to 20 years in prison.
Oh, my God.
We don't have the name of the suspect yet, but a recording was made by a passenger named Barry Livingstone. That's the video that we just saw. That's the audio we just heard. It's all over social media. And apparently, they're standing in the aisle. So the flight attendant is standing in the middle of the aisle and asking a passenger, are you threatening me? So the flight attendant asks, are you threatening me? Then turns around to, I think, probably alert the captain. We got a problem. And that's when the passenger runs toward the back of the flight attendant and smacks him in the back of the head. Wearing an orange floral shirt.
It's a really nice shirt.
Guess what? Trading one orange for another orange, because I'm sure the guy's in an orange jumpsuit right now.
So then fellow passengers get involved.
Oh, yeah. They take the guy down, and then they use those plastic handcuffs that almost all these flights, they have the emergency kit. They have.
I missed the duct tape.
Well,
remember a couple flights were using the duct tape?
There are a couple of awesome videos and pictures of unruly passengers being taped like a mummy. Like, can you imagine? You have somebody sitting in a seat that's been unruly. They pin him down, or her. There was a woman that was I remember a woman and a man. Can you imagine? You got a whole roll of duct tape. And do we have we got some right here. Hang on a minute.
Can you bring duct tape on your carry-on luggage?
You know what? I think I should always travel with duct tape just in case. So here's some duct tape right here. Listen. Can you imagine taking a whole roll of duct tape? Oh, just ran out.
There's only a foot left.
Only got a little
That's
bit.
not going to hold the passenger.
Better be a small passenger.
This won't even hold down Shorty Shane.
MJ gave it the biggest yank, and there's only a foot left.
What the hell? Oh, I need another roll of duct tape in here for sound effect purposes. But can you imagine that you unroll a whole roll of duct tape? And they've done that.
Yeah.
There's been a male and a female that I can remember that were duct taped to their seats. And you imagine you run the whole roll from the front around the back. In that case, you realize that you might preclude the person from behind from using their fold-down tray, or maybe seeing the TV screen.
Hopefully the tray will be down already.
So when you type the word passenger and the letter D into Google,
right,
it automatically finishes with passenger duct taped to seat.
Wow. Interesting.
Yes.
That's some funny stuff. When you see those images, now what they did on an airplane to get duct tape in the first place, that's not funny. But seeing a passenger literally look like a gray duct tape mummy.
Look at this old lady. They got her mouth taped up and everything.
There was a lady's
mouth.
The lady is duct taped, and they got duct tape around her mouth because she probably wouldn't stop screaming in one of these instances.
And somebody took great pleasure in removing that duct tape.
Well, let me get that for you, ma'am.
Kelly Clarkson. So we've got an American Airlines incident now, and this guy's in trouble. That person is definitely going to federal prison. That could be a 2-year, 5-year stretch right there. A witness that gave his name only as Kevin confirmed that the suspect was restrained by other passengers using zip ties. Yeah, I saw like the special handcuff zip ties that they have on these airplanes that they used to then restrain this passenger.
I saw big, thick yellow ones, and I mean, he kept them down. The FBI. Then they showed the FBI on the plane, or the agents. What the SWAT? Not SWAT agents. What are they? MJ? Airport police. Who boards that plane when it lands?
Well, it depends. It could be the feds, or it could be airport police. Sometimes they have a special port authority or an airport police. Sometimes it's just the local police or local sheriff's office. Depends on the airport and how law enforcement is handled there.
So on that flight, as they're landing, what if this guy requested the application for the American Express card that they always tout when you land into a new city? And is he still eligible for the 50,000 miles bonus points if he gets accepted?
Well, it's not always American Express. It's typically
all the airlines.
The airlines, they have a partnership with a Visa, a MasterCard. Yeah. Delta, I think, is American Express, but a lot of the other airlines are Visa and MasterCard. JetBlue is, I think, MasterCard. So, yeah, Andrew.
Are there still air marshals on flights?
Yeah. There are still air marshals on assorted flights.
Because I always hear about these problems, but we never hear about an air marshal being involved.
Now, I remember earlier in the year there was an incident on a flight, and the air marshal happened to be on that flight. But, they're still out there. I don't know if there are as many air marshals as we've seen in the past, but the air marshal program is still out there. Absolutely. I don't understand this, but I thought that this was an important public safety announcement here on the MJ Morning Show that male extension cords sold on Amazon should be thrown away immediately. Don't use them. So this is like a very short male. See, look at this. I'm holding it up to MJ TV. I'm holding this up to the MJ TV camera. It is like a 2-foot long male extension cord. So it's very short, and you've got a male plug on one end and a male plug on the other end.
What would you use that for?
Well, that's my question. What the hell do you use this for? A male extension adapter. What is that for?
That would fry so fast.
What is the application? Again, it's only like a foot or so long, and the ones that were sold on Amazon, according to the Consumer Product Safety Commission, they're warning consumers to immediately stop using and dispose of a certain extension cord sold on Amazon because of safety hazards. The male-to-male extension cords with 3-prong plug can shock or electrocute users and pose a fire and carbon monoxide poisoning hazard. How the hell does it pose a carbon monoxide? I don't understand this. But even more importantly, what the hell do you use a male-to-male 1-foot extension like a pigtail for? What do you use this for?
So I'm looking online at several. First of all, don't type in male and extension. Don't do that. I made that mistake already.
What is the application?
It looks like it's used in a generator.
All right, here we go. The issue is when it's plugged into a generator or outlet, the opposite end has live electricity and can pose a risk of serious shock. Oh, I see.
That takes the power from the generator and puts it. Wow.
All right, so here's the deal. If you have the one male end plugged into the wall, then the other male end is exposed and it's totally hot. It's not like the other end being female where you have to put a plug in.
Yeah, it is hot.
Could you come up with any better words than hot male exposed?
And putting a plug in a female.
Plug in a female.
What are you doing?
I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Well, you guys just have dirty minds. I'm just using typical hardware nomenclature here.
I'm just thinking of
anyway, just a warning on this this crazy extension cord because it'll.
Let's plug it in and see what happens.
Do they sell a binary extension cord? What if my extension cord doesn't identify as? I don't know.
I want a they. I want a they or their extension cord. Oh my! You know what's crazy? That I still can't get over that shop teacher. I can't get over that industrial arts teacher up in Canada. You know, we talked about this on the show yesterday. Hey, Andrew, we posted the crazy pictures on our website, right?
Yes, I put a pin on the stories we talked about.
All right, so mjmorningshow.com, folks, just a quick little mention here before I move on. mjmorningshow.com. There is a story and images of a shop teacher at a high school in Canada right outside of Toronto. And the shop teacher was a male last year, but now is a female. So the shop teacher, this man, is now identifying as a female and ordered apparently this ridiculous latex set of boobs that are the size of like third grade kids. Now, I saw these on Amazon. We did a search, and these boobs are $890 on Amazon.
Oh, I thought you were going to say pounds.
No.
Wait,
no.
you found them?
Yeah,
you
yeah.
type them that-
Yeah. Hey, hey, Fester, go to my afternoon site because the link is there.
They must be pretty darn heavy.
It's unbelievable. Folks, these things are so cartoonish. It's like a clown show. So scroll down and you'll see NSFW right there. Right, go down, right there. Up, NSFW. Click on that.
I still see
No,
it.
up. One more. Stop.
warning.
Click on that. All right. So click on that, and
Oh, my God.
Apparently, these are the boobs. I mean, if you look at the profile of these boobs, and Andrew, do me a favor, grab this. Well, you know what? We can't.
Oh my
yeah.
I mean,
You know what?
You can? It's
Those
a
are pretty
prosthetic.
real
I
looking.
don't think we can post this. All right. So on eBay, seriously, these are for sale like on eBay.
All right, the nipples are the size of your head.
Well, the nipples are the size of
Like the whole thing, the areola?
the nip, but the nipple itself is like the size of a tennis ball. It's folks, the boobs are ridiculous. The boobs are, I'm telling you, bigger than the giant oval watermelons that you see in those big corrugated boxes on a pallet at Walmart. All
They're
right,
double X cup.
I mean,
That's what it says.
it is insane. So look at this. This is an eBay item: silicone breast, form plate, fake boobs,
Best you need to buy those.
I love them.
big double X cup, cross-dresser, transgender. They are $817 on eBay. And it appears that these are the exact ones that the guy, now a woman, up in Canada, a teacher, is wearing.
Is there air in them? Because they can't.
No,
that'd be
it's filled
heavy.
with cotton. Apparently, if you read the description of the product, they are ridiculous. And Andrew, we have the picture of the teacher wearing the stretched out shirt with the nipples protruding. It is the most clownish freak show that you've ever seen, and the school is standing behind the transgender teacher. But this is such a distraction. It is such a crazy story that they would allow a teacher in a high school to actually teach a shop class. There are even pictures of the teacher operating like a bandsaw or something.
Yeah.
You know, with the folks, when I describe these boobs as being freakish prosthetic boobs, trust me, they are more freakish than you even have in your mind as I'm telling you how freakish they are. So we have the picture of the teacher with the giant boobs and these giant nipples poking out of this tight, stretched out like spandex shirt. And if you go to mjmorningshow.com, click on stories we mentioned on the show, and then the link will be there. And then I found what I think is the prosthetic latex boobs that this teacher is wearing, and they're on eBay for $817.
Pretty good price.
Yeah, that's the buy it now price.
I think you can make an offer. Okay,
Make it
$27.
What do you say? I'll take
Looks
a
like it'd be a
boat.
nice pillow.
$27. That's the offer I have. All right, I want to talk about the stash. Then this Disney racket. Are you aware of this latest Disney racket that people are trying?
No.
All right, hang on. We'll get to that in a minute. First, though, let's talk about your stash. Now, I'm not talking about like a mustache or a porn stash.
Oh.
I'm not talking about a drug stash. So what kind of stash could I be talking about here?
I don't know. I have all three of the ones you just mentioned.
Over half of U.S. No, you don't. First of all, do you have a mustache? Oh, you do have a mustache.
Part of a goatee. Half
you-
a goatee
that's
is
right.
a mustache.
Yeah, you do. All right, so Fester's got like a stash going on his face, and you don't have a drug stash in your house. Come on, give me a break.
It's not a big one. More edibles than anything.
Whoa.
Froggy gave me a bottle of gummies a while
No, I
ago.
didn't. No, I didn't.
Hey, whoa.
I haven't
No, I
used them.
didn't.
I haven't used them. But
I
have
would
them.
never. I don't know what you're talking.
What is happening here?
Listen.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So you're saying that Froggy gave you?
But I did not. It
Froggy
wasn't
ga-
me.
Froggy gave you marijuana edibles?
He told me there was a sale, right?
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm confused.
He said there was a sale at the place. So I was like,
I don't understand.
I haven't opened them or
You're not
anything, but-
allowed to do that.
Jeez. All right. Anyway, so no, I'm not talking about that kind of stash. I'm talking about money stash. Over half of U.S. adults have $1,000 cash stashed at their home. So a new poll shows that about 51% of Americans have cold, hard cash. The average person has a little over $1,000 stashed somewhere in their home. I'm going to tell you right now that I do not have $1,000 stashed in my home. Fester, other than the marijuana edibles that
that's only-
Froggy apparently gave you.
I think it was
No,
like
that's an
$15.99
outright
like a jar of 20.
Fester,
Outright lie.
Fester, do you have $1,000 or more stashed at your house in cash?
I don't think so. I mean,
Well, either you know it or you
No,
don't.
we probably have a couple of $100.
No, this is $1,000.
Yeah, I don't think I
over,
have $1,000.
over half of Americans have $1,000 or more stashed at the house. Froggy, you?
Yes.
Yes, no?
$10,000 stashed in a tree somewhere on my property.
Do you have a map with an X?
Yes. No, I don't have any cash.
16 paces from the garage door to the oak tree, and then hang a left, and then do 50 paces,
The
and
only-
then look for the rock shaped like New Jersey?
The only cash is my kids' piggy banks.
I mean, honestly, the accessibility I have to my money actually sits in my credit union.
yeah. Why would I need it?
I don't need to
It's
have
not
cash
your
on
credit. It's money at
Right.
home. All right, you know
What I'm
what?
saying, because that money's so accessible, I don't need $1,000 at 10 o'clock on a Thursday
That's
night.
an elderly thing. I need to have cash around.
Well, hey, if we've got a hurricane headed our way, you might need cash. As we're looking at this tropical depression number 9, and the whole state of Florida is in the cone right now, as it has shifted more to the east in the latest tracking. You know what? Let's go to phones on this.
Tropical depression number 9.
Yeah, what was that song?
Love potion number 9?
Love potion. You like it?
What was
Love
Potion. It doesn't
Love
work.
potion number 9.
Tropical storm. What is
It
it?
really has too many
guys,
syllables.
Guys, I don't want a song about a tropical
Yeah,
depression.
you're right. That's
I mean,
dumb.
All right, let's go to phones. 800-990-1047. I just want just a quick little survey here. I'm not going to take a ton of calls. I'm not going to spend too much time on this because we got to talk about the latest Disney racket. And man, I can't believe the nerve of some people. This is crazy. But what do you have stashed at the house? Do you have $1,000 in cash or more stashed at your house? Want to know, how much do you have? What do you think we could find as far as a caller that has the most amount of cash stashed
You're
at
going
the
to
house?
find somebody who probably has $150,000 under their bed. I mean, when you're looking for it, if you're asking, okay, call in if you have. We don't know where these people live. I'm not going to mug them,
All right,
unfortunately.
800-990-1047. Yeah, Andrew just piped in on my, you heard the phones ringing. Andrew's in the producer booth, and phones are ringing. He's going to screen the calls now. Andrew said, should I ask for their home addresses as well? No. Don't ask for their home addresses. You can remain completely anonymous or use your first name or where you're calling from. We're not going to know your house. But the question is, do you have a cash stash at your house? Because over half of Americans apparently have about $1,000 stashed at home. I don't. What do you have? What is the most amount of money that we can find a listener actually has stashed at the house? 800-990-1047. 800-990-1047. I got to figure out if I should make a confession on the air of something that I did some time ago. And I might make a confession. I might not make a confession.
Okay, so if you make a confession, then it's a confession. If you just taunt us about making one and then don't.
It's a tease fashion.
Okay, I'm about to say.
All right, look at the phones. Every line is jammed here. So do you stack up? And then do you think we're going to find anybody with like a couple $100,000 stashed at the house? All right, 800-990-1047, 800-990-1047. Mary's in St. Pete. Hey, Mary, welcome to the MJ Morning Show. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
We are well, Mary. So the average American has a little over $1,000 stashed at the house. What do you say?
I say that's very, very smart. Not only do I have cash, but I have multiple denominations of cash because you can't spend hundreds everywhere or 50s. So you need 20s, 10s, 5s, 1s, and quarters.
Oh, my God. Do you have the little money belt thing, the metal thing where you click down the change? Do you have that as well? Remember those things?
No, but I have a cash box.
All right, so how much do you have with your whole breakdown of all the different denominations? About how much money, Mary, do you think you have stashed at your house?
About $2,800.
Wow.
About 2,800. That's pretty
And
specific.
then, Mary, give me the circumstances in which you think that you might need to use this cash and why you have it at the ready.
Well, mainly for hurricanes.
Yep.
Because you need cash to rent a hotel room because cash talks.
Oh, that's right. And BS walks. And maybe if the power's out or something, I don't know, maybe the credit card machines don't work. Who the hell knows? But
you are correct.
And you do know, Mary, that we are looking at this tropical depression number 9, and it has shifted more toward Florida, but it's still far out. A lot's going to happen. It's going to wobble all over the place typically. But it looks like that, we've got a hurricane headed our way like mid next week, like Wednesday.
Yeah, and I'm always prepared, so I never have to stress. I have plenty of water. I am totally prepared. Plenty of batteries. I stay that way, and then that way I don't have to be that person standing in line freaking out trying to get everything at the last minute.
All right, Mary, the home teller.
Yeah,
Thank you, Mary.
She's survivalist.
Sitting at home fanning herself with her $2,800.
Mary, do you have a bomb cellar?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I wish I did, though.
Buckets of food.
Yeah. St. Pete's not the best place for a cellar.
All right. Do you have like the 25-year food supply in a bucket?
No, I don't have that because I think...
Do you have Alex Jones like nuclear war seeds for your garden?
No, I don't have those
need to
either.
get
But
these
I eat
seeds.
plant-based, so I have a lot of pistachios and a lot of canned fruit.
That's
Awesome.
good. That's good.
Hey, Mary, thanks for calling in. Alan is in Tampa. Are we keeping track of the money?
So
2,800
we're
bucks?
one for one.
That was $2,800. All right.
Oh.
So, I want to keep track of the. What are you saying?
I don't
one
know.
for one.
Keep track of them. I don't know what you meant.
Are you just blabbing out? What are you saying?
When you said keep track, we had one caller and she's had money, so that's one caller has money.
Okay, all right. So Alan's in Tampa. Hey, Alan, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hi.
Hey, good morning, guys. I have 220 grand.
Whoa, my! Wait a minute.
I told you.
I
told you.
Holy frigamoly. Alan, you have 228 grand stashed at your house?
Yep, in a safe.
Why?
I just collected it over the years.
What?
And it's just a kind of a personal thing for me.
Man.
Do you understand you could be making like 8% consistently on that? That's a lot of money.
I'm guessing that maybe the 228 grand was achieved tax-free.
Well, was it illegal money, or was it just? Did you earn the money?
No, I earned it, and I paid taxes on it.
Oh, you did. So you converted like paychecks into cash, and you just squirrel your cash away.
Yeah.
You realize that inflation is eating away at your money, though, right?
Yep. That's just a portion of what I have.
Well, hold on. What's your total net worth?
Probably 2.5 million.
Okay, all right.
2.5 million. All right. And you got 10% of it sitting at the house in a safe,
just in case.
All right. Is it all in like hundreds or what denominations?
Pretty much. And some of what I use it for is when I want to go buy a vehicle, I'll just go pay cash for it.
Okay. So you walk in with. What's the last vehicle that you purchased with cash?
A GLE 450 Mercedes.
That's nice. Hopefully you went to Fields Motor Cars for Mercedes-Benz, a great sponsor here on the MJ. Listen, don't buy Mercedes without going to Fields Motor Cars, Mercedes-Benz. So wait a minute. So how much was this GLE? How much was it?
It's about 70.
All right, so you walked in with 70 grand in cash?
Yes.
You realize that
you a rapper?
They have to report you. You realize that when you walk into a place with that much cash, that the feds get notified, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, to make sure you're not some kind of drug dealer from Medellin, you know?
So are you that
Correct.
customer, Alan? Are you that guy who says, What's your best price if I pay cash?
No, I don't really. I just work out the value of what I think the car is worth. I don't. The question that I get quite often is, what payment are you looking for? And I just simply say I don't base the purchase price off what.
Yeah, you don't do that. Yeah, that's an old car thing. What kind of payment? Because trust me, they'll try to make it work. Whereas you want to negotiate the lowest price on the car, and with the supply issues and the chip issues. You're in many cases you're lucky to get the car for just sticker price. You got so many dealers are adding thousands to the price of the car. Well, that's amazing, Alan. Thanks for the call. I appreciate it. But if you walk into a car dealer with $70,000 in cash, they have to. What is it? Anything over $10,000?
It's a big cash transaction.
Yeah,
it's not secret anymore.
No, but it has to be reported to the feds to make sure there's no RICO activity or any kind of drug activity or anything illegal going on. So, wow, I told you we'd get a big number. All right, let me grab. Every line is jammed here. All right, I just want to clean up these calls. I'll take 5 or 6 more calls, and then we got to move on. But we're asking about how much cash you have stashed at your house, because the average American has apparently $1,000 stashed at the house. It's over 50% of Americans say they have about $1,000 stashed at the house in cash. Speaking of cash, before I go back to phones, let me give you what the cash box word is. We're going to rock the cash box right now. This hour's word is reveal. That's REVEAL. Just text the word reveal nationwide to 45911 before 8:15 for a shot at $1,000 cash, or you can enter it on the Q105 app or myQ105.com. So the word right now, this hour's word is reveal, REVEAL. Text it nationwide to 45911, and good luck from the MJ Morning Show. All right, back to phones. Let me grab, I think Michelle is in Tampa. Michelle, you're on the MJ Morning Show on Q105. Michelle, over half of U.S. adults have about $1,000 stashed at the house. What do you have?
I actually wanted to call about a different thing related to this topic that most people, I work for an insurance company and I have for 34 years.
Yep.
Most people don't realize their insurance limits coverage for any type of loss, fire, theft, anything. $200 total for money, gold, silver, coins. And so when people do this, they're putting themselves at risk because they don't realize that if something happens, their house burns down and they're out $100,000 that they've been storing, they're not going to get any reimbursement.
You're saying that the limit is $200?
Most insurance policies have special amounts of insurance for certain categories.
For currency or coinage?
Currency, coinage, bullion, gold, silver, platinum, $200 max. And so if you have $1,000 stored underneath your mattress and someone breaks in and steals it, or
you'd be out $800.
You're out.
Wow. That's a good little tip there. Thank you, Michelle.
You're welcome. Thanks.
You bet. Bill's in Dade City. Bill, you're on the MJ Morning Show. How much cash do you have stashed at your house?
Hey, how you doing, guys? I got an even $50K.
So, wow, you have $50,000 stored at your house.
Yes, sir.
Now, is it in a safe? Is it hidden? Where the hell is it?
Well, I don't want to say where it is, obviously.
Yeah, but Bill, I mean, how many bills are in Dade City? At
least 12.
A lot more than that.
Yeah, maybe 15.
Hey, Bill, thanks. Why do you have $50,000 stashed at the house?
I've been squirreling it away over the years, and I just came up with that number, and I'm keeping it at that number. I may put a little more in there. I'm not sure.
Now, Bill, does somebody else know where the money is in case you die?
2 people.
Okay.
Wife and kid?
Yeah, wife and 2 buddies.
Oh, boy. I don't know if I trust the buddies.
I say you may want to move it. Just tell your wife.
Make sure,
well, like an insurance policy. If something happens, the plane goes down, they got to know where to find it.
Right. Make sure that it's safe and a squirrel or a rat's not going to get it and chew it up. All right, 2 more calls. Oh, anonymous in Tampa. This better be a big number. If you're calling in anonymous, if you're calling in as anonymous and you're calling in anonymously, this better be a big number. All right, anonymous in Tampa. Hi, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hello.
How you doing?
Doing well. What's your number at home? What do you have stashed?
$300,000.
Holy frig! Just beat the $228,000 guy.
We got a new man on top.
All right, so
But I'm a little smarter than stashing it under the mattress, though.
all right, so why do you have $300,000 in cash stashed at your house?
Well, I mean, I do pretty well for myself, and just over the years, every time I went to the bank, I just took out some cash, and it was a game. And then before I knew it, I had that amount of money, and I'm going to give it to my daughters one day. But I had stopped about a couple of years ago doing it, so I don't have any more than that. But that's why I did it.
Well, and is it in a safe? Is it secured?
Yeah, it's in a fireproof safe. Pretty nice one. So
And then what do you save? 20s, 50s, 100s, or what denominations?
They're all hundreds.
Oh, so $300,000 in hundreds.
Yeah, wrapped in saran wrap and rubber band. So.
Wow. All right. Well, listen.
I'm sure if the cops ever came to my house, they would question me as to why it's like that.
You look like a drug dealer, man.
That's suspicious as hell, man.
Yeah. Do you have little airplanes landing on dirt strips in the middle of the night out in Polk County?
Yeah, but I'm sure they could go back and look at the bank records.
Yeah.
Pablo Escobar said he did pretty well for himself too, by the way you started this call.
Well, listen, when I took Anonymous from Tampa, I said he better have a big number stashed, and at this point, he's the leader. All right, one more call, then we got to move on. Hey, Will is in Tampa. Will, over half of U.S. adults have about $1,000 in cash stashed at the house. What do you say?
I actually say that's a good idea for emergencies. I got about $3,000 kicked back.
All right, so you got about $3,000. All right.
Chump change compared to the other guy.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Chump change, absolutely. Hey, Will, thanks for phoning in. I appreciate it.
What did the other guy keep it? The bird feeder?
Man, we just had two callers. Between the two callers, they have over $500,000 stashed in their houses.
Wow.
I don't know about that. That sounds kind of risky. Like that one woman said, your house catches fire, somebody steals it, your dog eats it.
One of your buddy turns on you?
Yeah, for real.
All right, you ready for the Disney scam? Hey, do we have When You Wish Upon a Star?
Oh, no.
We need the Disney music here. Hey, what do you do next? I'm going to smuggle my kid in Disney in a stroller. All right, this is crazy. People, because of the price of admission at Disney, they're trying to sneak older kids into Disney in baby strollers.
Oh.
Listen. Oh, look, Fester's head is spinning over here.
No. I mean, I'm kind of guilty of this.
There we go.
How old are the kids?
All right, you ready for this?
Yes.
There's a viral video. A woman in a viral video is disguised as an elementary school-aged child. You've got, I guess the video here shows the woman, and I guess the woman's in a stroller? All right, this is nuts.
But how little is she?
I don't know. So we got a woman disguised an elementary school-age kid. Oh, here. Let me clarify. Did I say that properly?
No, you said it completely backwards.
All right, hang on.
A normal woman is pushing a stroller, and inside the stroller is like a 10-year-old hidden.
Is an element? Yes. Let me say this properly. So in the stroller, there's a kid. There's an elementary-age kid that is jammed into a baby stroller, and the mother is trying to get the kid into Disney to avoid paying the full admission price.
How old?
Well, the kid appears to be an elementary-aged kid.
So inside the baby compartment, the kid's in a fetal position.
Right.
And if you look in there, you see a little baby sleeping, and then she picks up this huge kid out of the seat, and then there's her 7-year-old daughter.
I'm looking at it looks like a girl, right?
Yeah, she's wearing one of the princess dresses.
She has Pragear. She's only 6 months old.
Now, is this real or is this like faked or...
Who knows these days?
Because video is rolling when they're walking through the gate, going through the turnstile, I guess where you show your ticket, and then once they get inside, so a woman disguises an elementary school-aged child as a baby in a stroller to get into Disney to avoid paying the admission price. So now, the debate is, was this like a brilliant move, or is this like just horrifically bad? Is this fraud? Yeah, of course it's fraud.
Okay,
this is theft of services or whatever they call it.
Can it be both? Can it be brilliance and fraud?
Goo goo gaga.
It's clever, but it's illegal.
Again, a lot of things are clever and illegal.
So the video is circulating on social media. It shows the group waiting in line to purchase tickets for the park with a baby stroller. A Disney cast member smiles and then looks at the stroller, but doesn't have anything to say about the obviously older child rolling past her who's covered in a blanket to block the non-little baby infant legs. So there's a blanket that's draped over the legs so you can see, so you can't see that it's like 7 or 8 year old kid legs and not like 7 or 8 month old baby legs.
Look at this video. This baby is twisted like a pretzel inside this stroller.
Because it's not a baby. It's like a 7 or 8 year old kid. It's a girl in a dress.
That's a good point.
Oh my God. So it did. It worked. They snuck a child into Disney in a baby stroller, and they ripped off Disney.
I think it's 2 or 3 were the cutoff for Disney. Kids under 2 are free.
Is that what it is?
Or under 3 are free, something like that. And I remember my daughter.
Why don't you look it up?
Well,
go look it up.
I remember Froggy, look it up.
Look up Disney admission prices.
I remember when my daughter was like turning that age, we took her to Disney. We bought 2 tickets, one for me and one for my wife. And we took our daughter in for free. And then we bought season passes that day for myself and my wife. And we brought my daughter the entire next year in the stroller for free.
So you did that as well?
Yeah, but she was like on the cusp of the free year. Then by the time she turned 4, she was just obviously not 2 anymore.
You got to be under the age of 3 to get in free.
So 2 going on to 3.
Now, Disney park prices range from $109 to $159 per day, depending on the date and the time of the visit. Every visitor aged 3 and up, so that's what Froggy just said. Every visitor aged 3 and up is required to purchase ticket. And then here you have this woman sneaking in a child that is clearly like an elementary aged kid jammed in a baby stroller to try to avoid the $109 getting the kid in?
Dude, if I had a dwarf,
you do.
I would never pay for Disney.
Well, that's what I was just thinking. We should try to see if we can get Shorty Shane in.
That's a funny deal.
Goo goo gaga. I'm baby.
It's hysterical. What? How about Busch Gardens? That's a little closer.
Let me see if they have kids for free.
Yeah,
I'm sure they do.
What is the rule at Busch Gardens? At what age do kids start having to pay at Busch Gardens?
Oh, man, the great folks at Busch Gardens.
You have a computer in front of you, Fester.
I thought you were looking it up.
We put Shorty Shane in a stroller, see if we can get this thing pulled off.
Free preschoolers.
That's
Oh, wait. Kids 5 and under go free.
At Busch Gardens?
Yes.
We could definitely get Shorty Shane in at Busch Gardens.
Yeah.
Available for all residents. Kids 5 and under can enjoy free admission. Oh, that's if you have the free preschool card.
No, what about let's not give out erroneous information. So
5 years old, it says.
What if you have no card?
No, I said this is what age is free at Busch Gardens, Tampa. 5 years old, free admission for children 5 years and younger.
All right. Man, I think
we could do it.
I think we got a new video bit. Fester?
I love Busch Gardens.
Yeah,
he has a onesie.
Hey, they got the new Iron Gwazi.
Well, does Shorty Shane reach the height requirement for any of the roller coasters?
I don't think so.
Call him and ask if he has baby clothes.
I'm sure he does.
Because I have a bunch of old baby clothes.
Hey, let me see if I can get Shorty Shane on the phone. Man, this will be a funny video. This would be hysterical. All right, hold on a minute.
This might be the one.
This could be funny, yeah. See if we can get Shorty Shane in. But we do promotions with Busch Gardens. I don't want to piss off Busch Gardens. Busch Gardens is a great operation.
I love Busch Gardens.
But I guess we've got morning show content to produce, right? I can just see, management call. Well, we heard you're talking about trying to get Shorty Shane into Busch Gardens in a baby stroller.
Yeah, that could be an issue.
How come Busch Gardens doesn't hire Shorty Shane? That's awesome. Too bad he can't juggle.
Will you stop? He's not a circus freak.
No, but he's an entertainer.
Maybe he can juggle.
All right, calling Shorty Shane right now.
Now, if he could juggle, he would have told us by now.
So you want to know if he has baby clothes?
And if he can juggle.
I don't know what he's doing. It's 8:14 in the morning.
He's on TikTok till 4 in the morning every night.
Is he really?
Yeah, he does like 5 hours live on TikTok every night.
He's probably sleeping. Yeah.
All right. We'll work on it.
Hey, Fester, let's put this together.
Sorry, Fest.
Yeah,
You're going with me.
I'm busy.
You and I are going together as a couple with a baby.
You know what? We'll put you in the giant latex prosthetic boobs like that teacher in Canada. We'll put you in those.
There you go.
It's my hot wife over here.
$900 investment for the bit.
Shorty Shane's not picking up the
All
phone.
right, he's asleep.
Yeah, apparently so.
You know, dwarf hours.
And we're going to put this to the... What, should we just do Disney?
I mean,
that's quite a hike.
It is, but
do we
listen.
want to bust the station's promotional budget for 6 months?
For a couple of Disney
Ted, we need
tickets.
$300 for a couple of Disney tickets and half a tank of gas.
Yeah.
Ooh, gosh. Ooh.
Guys, you know, that's the whole promotional budget for about 6 months.
Guys, we just brought some new koozies and some YouTube videos. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, we're kind of spent right now, guys.
So my son was watching Pencilmation, where it's like pencil drawing cartoons on YouTube the other night.
Pencil animation?
Yeah.
Pencilmation?
And
yeah.
A Q105 commercial came up on YouTube. He got all excited. He's like, Daddy, look, Q105 was promoting the Rock the Cash Bar. So it's working.
It's not Cash Bar.
You don't even know the name of our damn promotion. It's Rock the Cash Box.
What's it? Cash
What's the Cash Bar?
What's the song?
It's Rock the Casbah. The song is Rock the... You think it's Cash Bar?
I've been saying Casbar
No,
my whole
it's
life.
Rock the Casbah. The Casbah.
What's the Casbah? Oh, forget it. Never mind. Ted, it's not working. I'm
Northern
sorry.
Africa, isn't that the
I think that's
Casbah?
an area, yeah. An area.
What's the matter with you? Hey, NyQuil has come out with a statement now.
About cooking chicken?
About NyQuil chicken. And again, this story emerged last year. Why is this making the rounds again? I brought this up earlier this week. We had mentioned it was either last December or January that we were talking about NyQuil chicken. This was a thing. We're like, this is disgusting. And for whatever reason, in the last couple of weeks, it's like, it's hot. It's all over the internet. It's all over social media. And the FDA had to come out with a warning earlier this week, warning people, do not cook chicken in NyQuil. And it's mostly, these kids on this TikTok thing. Jeez, I'll tell you, TikTok is going to be the downfall of humanity. TikTok is destroying the human race.
Will you stop?
I'm telling you, not to mention the communist Chinese that are mining all of our data. But anyway, so NyQuil, here we are. We're like 10 months later, after I first heard about this NyQuil chicken social media viral video craze, and finally NyQuil comes out with a tweet. And somebody on social media, I think it was Twitter, made some kind of a statement. And the statement was like a thank you. Hey, thanks for the new recipe at NyQuil. My chicken is going to be a knockout. Oh. And obviously they're joking about, hey, NyQuil. And,
that's funny.
The sleepy, sneezy, snoozy, wheezy, so you can sleep medicine, whatever the hell it is. So NyQuil responds, NyQuil and Dayquil. So it's at NyQuil Dayquil is their social media handle. And they wrote, consumer safety is our number one priority, and we do not endorse inappropriate use of our product. My NyQuil is an OTC medication that treats nighttime symptoms of the common cold and flu. It should be taken as directed, using the dosage cup provided, not to exceed 4 doses in 24 hours. So that's their response. It's not like, do not use our product to cook chicken. Do not misuse and abuse our product. It's like lawyers wrote this, you know?
Seriously, have a real person write a response to the people.
Did they have a lawyer write like their Twitter response? We got to put that through legal. Yep. Oh, yeah. NyQuil, why do you just say, hey, you idiots, don't cook chicken in our product. Don't cook chicken in NyQuil. So that's NyQuil responding. So, all right, I want to potentially go to phones here again. Oh, first, we ought to get Roxanne on the line, but I want to go to phones about clothing returns. We brought this up late in the show yesterday, but I first want to find out if Roxanne made it. Oh, geez, I'm checking my texts. Everyone's sending me like, hey, is the hurricane headed your way? I'll look at this. Hang on a minute. Oh, remember our buddy Eben Brown? Hang on a minute. Eben, remember Eben? We used to work with him.
Eben Brown.
Yeah.
Got a job at Fox Radio, right?
Yeah. So Eben just sent me the 5 a.m. Well, the 8 a.m. is out now. I'm sure it didn't change. But Eben sent me the 5 a.m. Advisory from the National Hurricane Center. And again, folks, just a heads up. Wednesday morning at 2 a.m., the National Hurricane Center has this as a Category 2 hurricane. Looks like, ramming into like Fort Myers, Port Charlotte is where it's tracking right now. But the whole state of Florida is in the cone. The cone extends all the way to like Gainesville. So the whole state of Florida, all the Keys and the whole state up to about Gainesville is in the cone. And the little center line has the hurricane rolling into, Cape Coral, Fort Myers. It says 2 a.m. Wednesday morning. But we know how these things shift. We know how these things wobble. We're still far out. It's not even a named storm yet. When it does become a named storm, this tropical depression number 9 will be Hermine will be the name.
Hermione.
And the tracking is now taking this thing right toward Florida. Whereas it was a little less discerning as far as where it was going to head. It was the spread was anywhere from like the Yucatan Peninsula to Florida. Now it seems that with the steering currents and everything, they're narrowing this thing down mid next week as a hurricane event heading toward Florida. And again, right now, they have it rolling into a little south of Fort Myers. But, it's far out, and we've seen that things wobble. This thing could change. It could roll over towards Miami. This thing could roll more towards the Tampa Bay area. So, again, heads up as we head into the weekend. Just a reminder, we've had a pretty easy breezy hurricane season so far. But as you know, that old cliche, it only takes one. So remember, prepare that we are going to be dealing with hurricane effects, most likely in the state of Florida, sometime next week. Late Tuesday into Wednesday is what the tracking looks like. All right, let me get Roxanne on the phone, and then we'll deal with the clothing fraud story. So Roxanne sent me a text. Did we all get the text about her throwing up in the airport?
Yeah, she sent it to the group, which was disgusting. I don't know that I needed that in the middle of my day yesterday. Sometimes Roxanne's an oversharer.
Calling Roxanne's cell phone. She's in the mountains of North Carolina.
Yes, she's in Blowing Rock.
She blew chunks apparently at the Tampa airport. She said she could take our call anytime after 7.
Hey, Doug, will you watch that French toast?
Hello?
Yeah. Hi.
Did you just tell Dig Dug to watch that French toast?
Uh-huh.
All right, so Roxanne, are you in Blowing Rock or are you in Blowing Chunks in the Tampa airport?
I know. My stomach wasn't right for 2 days after that. I didn't really want to talk about it, but
all right, so you're blaming the one chip challenge, the latest 2022 hot pepper chip from that one chip challenge. You took a bite, you nibbled maybe 6% of the total chip, and you're blaming that for over 24 hours later you throwing up at Tampa International?
And maybe wine, possibly.
Oh, and maybe wine.
All right, Roxanne, you can't pin this on the chip 30 hours later.
You can't. Hold on. Did you show up to... Listen, I know that it's very stressful traveling with your two little monsters and then Dig Dug. Did you get all liquored up prior to going to the airport?
That's my MO because I feel like it's just...
You get drunk prior to flying?
No, not completely drunk.
How could you... If there's an emergency, how would you be able to assist your kids if you're drunk?
I just get a buzz. I don't get completely incapacitated, but I go...
So you don't get blackout drunk before you board the plane?
No.
Are you ever afraid they're going to deny you from boarding? Because you realize that they will not board an outwardly drunk or an intoxicated passenger. They'll turn you away. I've seen that happen. I've seen people turned away at the gate that were like wobbly and slurring a bit. I've seen it, I think twice I've seen it.
No, they're not going to do that to me, but I just like to be in a good state of mind, and I can't even tell you, if I don't have a glass of wine and I travel with the kids, it just, everything bothers me.
Did you throw up all over like the American counter? Where do you throw up at Tampa International?
In the bathroom.
Everybody heard you.
So you were able to make it to the bathroom.
Yeah. Wait, this is what happened. We were, just kind of, we thought we had a lot of time because the flight was delayed. And then I'm like, let's go to Mise en Place because they have really good wine there. And then, so we in the American Airlines airside. And so then I had a glass of wine, and then all of a sudden everything was taking longer than anticipated. I ate a whole plate of Brussels sprouts, like just wolfed it down.
Oh my God. So wait a minute. We had wine and Brussels sprouts mixed.
You're going to have toots
This
on the
had
plane.
nothing to do with the chip, Roxanne. It's like the worst combination ever.
Why would you blame the chip that you ate over 30 hours earlier for causing you to hurl at Tampa International?
That's totally what I was saying it was. I was like, is that chip? Is that damn chip I ate?
It's not the chip.
Excuses.
You were drunk and you ate a pound of Brussels sprouts while drunk.
How was your breath? I had milk and a couple cigarettes.
My God, probably coming out of both ends.
So Roxanne runs into the bathroom at the airport. The lady at the sink.
It's actual audio.
The lady at the sink's like, hey, that's Roxanne Wilder from the MJ Morning Show.
Hey, it's nice to meet you.
Roxanne runs into the stall, slams the door, lets go of all of her Brussels sprouts.
Reversals.
The lady's like, I knew that's how she kept her
She
figure.
refunded.
I knew she had a disorder.
100%. Yeah. No, it just, when you...
Did you do it in the sink or did you make it to a toilet?
No, I was in the toilet. It was just like, when you're a kid and you eat really fast and then you drink a lot of liquids and then you jump up and down on a trampoline or something like that. It was kind of like that. It wasn't like a horrible, violent,
I do that all the time.
My whole entire stomach.
What trampoline are you jumping on at the airport?
I'll tell you what would have been great. You know what would have been awful? If she threw up on that new giant pink flamingo in the middle of Tampa International Airport.
Right on the head.
Oh, I love that.
What, have you seen that?
Yeah, that's not creepy at all.
Yeah, that new installation went in over the last couple of months.
Yeah.
And what if Roxanne would have thrown up on the flamingo at Tampa International?
The neck looks like a river of Pepto-Bismol.
I saw that thing. I thought all of a sudden, that looks like it belongs at Miami International. I didn't know that. I saw someone post about that, and I didn't even realize that.
Nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea. Hey, Roxanne Wilder.
I thought you were singing the Pepto jingle. I think you're going to a Roxanne puke sound effect.
Oh, boy, Roxanne. So,
yeah.
Were you okay after you hurled at Tampa International yesterday?
Yeah, no, I was totally fine. I got boarded the plane, and like I said, it just kind of like takes the edge off when you travel with children. It's like everything.
It takes the edge off to drink wine and eat a pound of Brussels sprouts.
Yeah,
but what kind? If you returned it all to the toilet, then what was the edge really taken off?
Well, yes, it was because I took Doug's wine and I put it in my daughter's sippy cup.
No.
Wait
a minute. You took Doug's wine. You took Dig Doug's wine and put it in a kid's sippy cup.
I did.
Hold on. Hold on. What? Did you board the flight with that?
Yes. Am I allowed to?
No, that's a federal violation. You cannot board with outside alcohol. Any alcohol consumed on the flight has to be purchased in flight. You can't bring your own supply.
Good trick.
Roxanne,
you've just confessed to a federal crime on live MJ Morning Show radio.
Oh my gosh, the cops are calling.
Whoops.
Yeah, we just found out last segment that nobody in the room has more than $1,000 at our house. We can't even bail you out.
Holy God! Oh well. Well, I mean, it was just he wasn't going to drink it all, so didn't want it to go to waste.
So you put it in the sippy
Roxanne, while I have you on the phone, I might just keep you on the phone here. We talked about this at the very end of the show yesterday. I said that I would take calls tomorrow, which is now today. Do you think that wearing clothes, you buy clothes, then you wear the clothes, and then you return the clothes after you wear them, do you think that's fraud?
Yeah, I don't know if you classify it as fraud. I don't know what crime it would be classified as, but I think it's wrong. Especially if that's your intent. Like, okay, I'm going to wear this. I mean, the only thing that I could kind of make an excuse for is if it was just a defective piece of clothing.
No. Listen, obviously, if it's defective, if you wore something and it was defective and you noticed it after you worn it, that's fair game. But we're talking about perfectly good clothing that you buy, you wear, and then you return after you wore it. So a survey was done. 2,000 adults were surveyed about policy abuse and what they call friendly fraud. It has a name. It's friendly fraud. When a consumer requests a chargeback from their bank, it revealed that 46% think that wearing clothes for an occasion and then returning them for a full weekend, for a full refund, rather, also known as wardrobing, should be considered an illegal offense. So here we go. 46% of those surveyed say that wearing clothes for an occasion and then returning the clothes after you wore them for a full money-back refund, they call it wardrobing, should be considered an illegal offense. You know what? Let's go to phones on this. We got time. I can take calls here. 800-990-1047. Do you think buying clothes, wearing the clothes, and then returning them for a full week refund, do you think, why do I have weekend on my mind?
I don't know, but you're off a whole day.
No, it's the weekend. We're heading into the weekend. It's Friday. All right, so I want to go to phones on this. Do you think that's fraud? And maybe we'll take calls from people also that have done this. Do you buy clothing to wear to an event? Do you buy some expensive dress, a cocktail dress, or do you buy a suit or something, and you wear it, you use it, and then you bring it back? Because 46% think that does constitute fraud, return fraud. All right, let's go to phones. Do you do this? Have you done this? What is like maybe the most expensive thing that you've purchased, worn, and then returned? All right, 800-990-1047. Let's go to phones. 800-990-1047. Do you consider buying, wearing, returning fraud, and have you done it? And we'll have Roxanne on the phone with you. We've got conference calling capability here with us in studio and Roxanne in the mountains of North Carolina. All right, Andrew is screening calls right now. Do you consider this fraud, and have you done this? And have you done this with the intent of doing this? Meaning you're buying something expensive, you're going to wear it, and you know that you're going to return it. Now, that's sort of premeditated. You know, then I would imagine maybe you bought something, you wore it, you didn't like it, but after you wear it, is that fair game?
Well, you buy it for a specific event.
Yeah, so that's the point. A lot of people will say, I only need this dress for one event. I'll never need it again. Or and that's why people will buy it and return it. All right, phones are loading up here. Roxanne, hang with us. Let's grab Tracy in Brandon up first here. Hey, Tracy, welcome to the MJ Morning Show.
Hey, good morning. I'm calling to let you know I don't agree with it, but I do have a friend that had to attend a wedding recently. They were very pregnant, so they went and bought a maternity dress to wear at the wedding. They returned it. However, before they returned it, somebody bumped into them and spilled some champagne on the dress. So the young lady took it to the cleaners, had it cleaned, and still returned it. But I don't agree with it.
Oh, my God. And did they get their money back? Was the return successful?
Yeah, they got every dime back, and I don't agree with that.
Yeah, see, that's retail fraud. They call that friendly fraud. Or
yeah, that's why we have to pay more for our clothes, because people like that.
There you go. All right, Roxanne, you can chime in anytime you want. Thanks for the call. Yes.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that's awful. That's awful. And it's like you're making the clothes disgusting, too, when you do that. And so
they're not going to resell it.
Well, you don't know that. Stuff will go back on the rack.
Yeah.
I don't know. Hey, did they keep the tags by any chance?
Yeah, they kept the tags. They told them that they had taken it home. It was a gift, and they didn't like it, and they didn't like how it fit.
Oh, wow. And then there you go. Thanks for the call. All right, Lisa is in Bradenton. Lisa, you're on the MJ Morning Show on Q105. Hi, Lisa.
Good morning.
All right, so friendly fraud, what do you think?
Oh, I don't agree with it at all. My daughter went to 2 proms. Her first prom dress was $500, and then the next year it was $600, and it cost $100 to have it hemmed, and now they're both hanging in her closet.
So you kept them.
Yeah, so they did not participate in friendly fraud.
So you have $1,000 worth
Yeah.
of dresses you'll never use again.
Exactly.
That's
She
kinda-
won't even sell.
Yeah, it's kind of
That's kind of what happened.
privately.
Why don't you put them on like Facebook Marketplace and see if you can't peddle them along and recoup a little bit of them?
kind of the cost of doing business. It's called like the cost of living, It's stuff that you're going to wear just once. But, that's the honest thing to do, not to try to return it. Hey, Lisa, thanks for the call. All right, back
You know
to...
what I just thought
Yeah,
about?
yeah.
You know what I just thought about? There's a store, a place, a dress place, and I've actually gotten dresses from them before, and it's awesome. You just go in and you rent it, and I can't think of the name of it, but there's one in South Tampa.
Well, I know up in New York there was a place called Rent the Runway.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That's what it is.
Oh,
Yeah.
are they down here now? Rent the Runway?
I think so. I mean,
I'll tell you what. When we were up in New York, that place was jammed, man. So many people were going into Rent the Runway, and so they have those here in Tampa Bay now.
I don't. Okay, so there are two. There's one that I went to on Platt Street, and Rent the Runway is popping into my head, so that might be it.
All right.
Or I might have rented from Rent the Runway online. I can't remember.
Yeah, I think they
But
do that
know
as
it
well. Yeah. All right, let's grab Mark. Let me grab Mark in Bradenton. Hey, Mark, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hi.
Good morning. Welcome back. Appreciate y'all.
Hey, we've been back for like 2 years now, right?
Yeah, I know.
All right,
He's just now getting to the welcome.
Just checking. Hey, Mark, do you know that on October 5th, coming up in a couple of weeks, we're going to be back 2 years with the second coming of the MJ Morning Show?
Are we throwing a party?
Oh, you know what? Maybe we should throw a party. It's a good idea. All right, so Mark, what happened with you and Friendly Fraud? Anything?
I'm ashamed to admit it, but I have done this more than one time. In my younger years, I ran marathons, and I would buy new shoes at the marathon or in the area of the marathon and return them after running the marathon.
So you'd buy the sneakers, you'd run the marathon, and then return the sneakers right after the marathon?
Yes.
Why wouldn't you want to keep the sneakers?
If they hurt my feet or they didn't fit right, I just didn't like them.
Well, have you ever ran a marathon with perfectly good shoes that did hurt or did not hurt your feet and you returned those anyway?
No, I've never done that. If I liked them, I kept them. But I have returned a few pair of shoes that hurt afterwards.
Well, listen, I know that's probably a little different story. If the shoe doesn't work right, maybe that might be more acceptable. All right, Liz is in. Liz. I'm looking at the screen. What happened to you, Liz?
Well, this was many years ago, but I think it was limited, that I bought a pair of pants.
At the Limited?
I think it was, years ago it was the store, the Limited.
Yeah, I remember,
Bought some pants, and then I wore them, and then I lost some weight, and they didn't fit anymore. So I went to take them back, telling them that I didn't like them, didn't work any for me, but never worn them, and there was a movie stub in the pocket, so I got busted.
Oh, there was a movie, so you never wore them, but they.
I did wear them.
I'm sorry.
What is this,
I'm sorry.
Seinfeld?
Hold on a minute. No. All right, you're right. So you wore them, and then when you returned them, there was a movie stub in the pocket.
Correct. Ended up, they took them back, but I was quite humiliated and learned my lesson. Even though I didn't intend on scamming anybody, but yeah, I will never do that again.
Oh my God! All right, and how much were the pants?
Oh, they weren't that. Oh, back then, I don't know, $40 bucks, $50 maybe.
You got caught with your pants down.
Nice.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
All right, that was awful. All right, Liz,
All right,
thanks for the call. Have a great weekend. Stephanie's in St. Pete. Hey, Roxanne, are you still with us?
Oh yeah, no, I was going to pipe in with something, but I just didn't want. Fun fact about about the Limited. It was owned by Les Wexer. What's his name?
Oh, yeah, that was the Victoria's Secret guy, right?
Yeah, and that's the guy I've seen got his start from and all his money.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you, Rox.
A couple more here.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Stephanie in St. Pete. Hey, Stephanie, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hi.
Hi, MJ. Hi, everyone. I used to work at a retailer a long time ago, and we were known to take back returns, and we would see this all the time where people would wear the items and return them, and we'd have to return them because of our policy, but some of the stuff was disgusting that came into the store.
Yeah, so people returning stuff that just clearly looked like it was used, abused, stained, maimed, whatever.
Yeah, shoes that they even said, I probably didn't get them from here, but I know that you take them back.
Oh, God.
And it was, taking it back.
What was the store that had this very liberal return policy?
I think you might know it, Nordstrom.
Yeah. Oh, Nordstrom, yeah.
So now they don't do it. Now they're not that liberal anymore.
You know, my grandmother, may she rest in peace, my grandma Franny, my dad's mom, she was notorious. She'd like use a comforter for 5 years and then bring it back. Bring it back to Macy's or Bamberger's or something up in New York. I'm not joking. Stephanie, thanks. All right, one more call here. We'll grab Michael in Newport Richie. Michael, you're on the MJ Morning Show on Q105. Hi.
Hi, how you doing?
Doing fine. All right, retail fraud. What are you part of?
I actually worked in retail, and up until about a year and a few months ago, I lived in Los Angeles, and it is awful in Los Angeles.
What do they do?
Well, I sell suits for a living, and people would buy suits, wear them to a wedding, return them, even if they're obviously if the stuff is altered, they can't really return.
Now, where in L.A. was this? Were you working at a store in the Beverly Center, or where were you?
It was actually, one was in the Beverly Connections, a couple in Marina Del Rey. I worked at a few of the Men's Warehouse out there.
Oh, so it's Men's Warehouse. Hey, did you ever have any run-in with a celebrity that pulled any shenanigans?
No, not that pulled any shenanigans. I've definitely had plenty of run-ins with celebrities, but
hey, so tell me, which celebrities walked into the Men's Warehouse out in L.A.?
You know, it's funny, I can't remember his name, but in American Pie, that guy who did Stifler's mom.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh, what's his name? I interviewed him, and I can't even think of his name.
Of course, Roxanne. Of course you interviewed him.
Jason Tatum from the Celtics, a few big names.
No. And Beverly Connection, is Beverly Connection the one right across right across where the Target is?
Yeah, it's right. Yeah, exactly that spot.
Right on the corner. Yeah.
South Tampa, and now I work at South Tampa and Kirby's, and Phil Esposito is a big customer.
Yeah, listen, I've been a Kirby's customer. I've shopped. Hey, ask the guys about MJ at Kirby's. They know me.
Was it Shawn Michaels Scott?
No.
Hold on.
Roxanne, we're past Stifler's mother.
Hold on. All right. Hey, Michael, I'll stop into Kirby's Menswear soon. I'll say hi to you, okay?
Absolutely, appreciate it.
Hey, is Jeff still there?
He is.
All right, tell Jeff you called into the show today. Ask him if he knows MJ.
I will, thank you.
Hey, have a great day.
You'll be like, oh, yes, that guy. Yes. The 48 extra short. Yes, I remember him. Yes.
All right, it's 44, by the way.
Sorry.
All right, Roxanne, I got to run, okay?
Okay, have fun.
All right, Roxanne, enjoy your weekend. Now, are you still throwing up, or is that all over with now?
No, I feel good. Daviana, say bye, everybody. Bye.
All right.
We're
bye,
good.
kids.
We'll see you
Go
Monday
to the
morning.
Vanderbilt Estate and throw up in the fountain.
We'll see you back in the studio. All right. So, do we have the 8 o'clock hurricane for? Do we have that? A lot of stuff is going on. So, folks, we have a hurricane potential situation here. We have the National Hurricane Center we're tracking now Tropical Depression number 9, and early Wednesday morning they have this as like a Category 2 coming into the west coast of Florida. Now, right now, we're all in the cone here on the west coast. The whole state is in the cone of uncertainty. The whole state up till about Gainesville is in the cone. It's going to wobble this way. It's going to wobble that way. Right now, they seem to have it running toward like Port Charlotte, Punta Gorda, Fort Myers area. That's like for they're predicting like a 2 a.m. Wednesday landfall. But listen, this could change. This could change and come toward the Tampa Bay area. It could change and roll toward Miami or more toward the center of the state. But what you need to know is that we've had a slow hurricane season thus far. It is heating up, and we have tropical threats that are heating up, including this tropical depression number 9, which, when it becomes a named storm, is going to be called Hermine, Hermine, and it does look like it's going to affect the west coast of Florida. And it's going to be sometime late on Tuesday, early on Wednesday. So make sure you use this weekend to get prepared. We also had a terrible situation this morning. Our thoughts and prayers are with the family, the friends, colleagues, fellow law enforcement, as we lost Pinellas County Deputy Sheriff Mike Hartwick this morning in an off-duty traffic control issue on 275, and a crazy story happened. A construction worker killed the deputy and then fled. Last I saw, he's still a fugitive, right?
Yeah.
Still on the run.
There's been no word that Vasquez has been caught.
All right, hold on. We'll give you the full story, all the details, and a whole lot more next on the MJ Morning Show here on Q105. Stand by. This... Q105, and of course, the breaking news this morning is the death of a Pinellas County deputy sheriff. If you haven't heard the audio from the 6 a.m. press conference around 6:15 this morning with Sheriff Bob Gualtieri from the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office, if you haven't heard some of the sound bites, we have them in what is truly a horrific situation and a crazy situation with a construction worker that killed a deputy accidentally, I'm sure, but then fled. Now we have a couple of construction workers working on one of the 275 projects that are facing charges. And we got a fugitive construction worker that is on the lam right now. All right, hold on. We'll get to that in a second. First, Pat is in the studio from our traffic department. Hey, Pat, can you grab, let Froggy go back to his position. Pat, come over to Roxanne's mic on mic 5 over here. That's open. All right, so again, the latest on traffic. I kind of gave a little bit of a traffic picture over Caribbean Queen a couple of minutes ago, but the Howard Franklin Bridge, you ought to avoid that at all costs unless you're going northbound and you can get on like right at the last minute, like at MLK, right? Because it looks like on the way home for me to go back home to Tampa, it looks like
you better use the Gandy.
It looks like but the Gandy's all jammed up too. No, coming into Pinellas,
right?
I imagine both ways now.
Yeah,
honestly,
as you get toward the end of the bridge on the Gandy.
All right, so traffic-wise, every bridge is in bad shape this morning. So if you're just avoid the Howard Franklin southbound. Avoid that right now at all costs.
Right.
Because you're going to be sitting in bumper-to-bumper traffic, and they're going to exit you at Ulmerton MLK.
Correct.
So if you're going 275 south, just avoid it.
And that really is being funneled down to one lane where there's normally 2 lanes there.
Yeah.
Getting off, there's only one this morning.
Now, the accident with the deputy sheriff getting killed, that was on 275 north, just past, 275 south.
Correct.
So the accident was on 275 south, just past MLK Ulmerton, a little north of Gandy. That's what I was trying to say.
Right on Roosevelt construction.
So, right in that zone there.
Weeks.
Yeah, it's been like that for a long time. So that's where the accident happened. So I'm looking at the bridge traffic right now, and the Gandy Bridge looks to be kind of jammed in both directions, but coming into Pinellas County from South Tampa on the Gandy is very heavy right now. And then once you get across the Gandy, it looks like it's getting backed up as you get close to Tampa.
Correct.
On the Tampa side. That's the Gandy if you're heading toward Tampa, but westbound into Pinellas is really the worst. Now, if you look at the Courtney Campbell coming into Pinellas looks like it's jammed and bumper to bumper. Almost the whole length. It looks like you got some green as you get past, around the hotels on the Tampa side before you get to the causeway there. But once you get just a little down the bridge on the Courtney, it's jammed all the way coming into Pinellas County as well.
Eastbound looks fine. If you're leaving Pinellas County, Clearwater area, you want to get into Tampa.
Eastbound Courtney looks okay right now. But again, all the bridges coming into Pinellas County are just a terrible mess right now. And
another problem we have northbound 275 in Pinellas, a couple different accidents that are blocking lanes before you ever get to the mess at Gandy.
All right, here's what happened. All right, for those that don't know what happened, this happened late last night. It was in the 10 o'clock hour, so a little before, I guess, 11 p.m. We had a construction worker with a front-end loader, a heavy front-end loader, moving those big concrete construction barriers. A deputy sheriff by the name of Mike Hartwick, 51 years old, a 19-year veteran of the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office, was doing off-duty traffic control for the construction zone for the overnight hours. He shows up in the 10 o'clock hour, a little after 10:30, somewhere between 10 and 11-ish. The construction worker runs into and kills the deputy sheriff. Did he drop the concrete barrier on the sheriff, on the deputy sheriff?
I'm trying to figure out how that happened.
I
The
don't know.
operator of the front end loader, who's been identified as Victor Vasquez, was operating a front end loader with the big forks up front, moving these heavy concrete barriers, and hit the deputy sheriff and killed the deputy sheriff. And then he continued driving the front end loader for about a quarter mile, pulled off into like a parking or a staging area, got out of the vehicle, told another construction worker that he just killed a deputy sheriff, handed his helmet and vest to the other worker, and the construction worker that killed the deputy then fled on foot and is still on the loose. They still haven't found him. So I've got the sheriff's audio here because he held a press conference. And then the other worker hid the helmet and the construction vest in the woods.
So how long was it before Officer or Deputy Hartwick was found? Nobody else was out there.
Well, because the guy that killed the deputy sheriff told the other worker that I killed, so he must have told someone.
His first reaction was to hide the equipment.
Yeah, I mean, this story is insane. So at this point, they're looking for Victor Vasquez, who is on the run after killing this deputy sheriff. This is unbelievable. All right, here's the sheriff. This is from the presser from earlier this morning.
What happened is about 10:30 last night, Deputy Michael Hartwick, who is 51 years old, been with the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office for 19 years, was working a traffic detail on I-275 north of Gandy, and he was assigned to assist the construction crews and provide for safety for them as they did overnight construction work on the interstate. Deputy Hartwick arrived around 10:30 last night at his assigned post. Had his emergency equipment on, was blocking the two inside southbound lanes of I-275.
All right, we're hearing right now breaking news. We're getting breaking news. We are hearing that the suspect is now in custody. This is just breaking. When did it break? Just last minute or so?
Last couple of seconds, yes.
All right, just breaking. This is fresh breaking news. The construction worker that allegedly killed this deputy sheriff is now in custody after being on the run for about 11 hours. This guy has been on the run for close to, 10, 11 hours. What information do we have, Andrew? Can you read anything? Are there any details on the report where he was found? Do we have anything, Andrew? Just that he's in custody?
None of those specifics.
You turned your mic off.
Yeah, none of those specifics.
All right. What do you have, Fester?
No, I have as you had the breaking news show up for you on your side, I had listeners text me. There's apparently one of our listeners sent me a text message to my phone of footage of Victor Vasquez getting
hold on a minute. Let me see this.
Down.
Hold on. A listener was there and captured this?
Read my text exchange with this listener who just reached out to me.
They caught him. All right, listener just texted Fester because Fester's personal phone number is known to virtually everybody.
It's okay.
So Fester gets this text. They caught him, and then a picture of deputy sheriffs apparently taking him into custody. Fester says, where? Oh, don't know. My roommate is a bus driver, and sent me this video of the front
the front-end loader driver.
The front-end loader driver that was caught on the loose. All right.
So they've captured him. Good. He's in custody, and I'm now trying to get a hold of the roommate who's the witness.
I see this. All right, hold on a minute. This there's a phone number on here. 727-288. All right.
Wait, we don't know who this is?
No, we don't. Hold on. This is a friend of the texter. All right, Fester, pick up Hot 1. Pick up hotline number 1 and see if we can get him on the phone, find out exactly where it was, where they were caught. And if they have any more information. All right, so the breaking news is right now. Hey, Andrew, where did you get the breaking news? Where did you see that they had caught the suspect?
Pinellas Sheriff's Office Twitter.
All right, so the Twitter feed from the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office is confirming that this Victor Vasquez is in custody. Back to the sheriff from earlier this morning.
He got out of his cruiser, was standing on the shoulder of the road, and from what we can determine through the investigation, he was facing to the north. So again, his cruiser was facing south. He was blocking the southbound lanes, and he was standing on the shoulder of the road facing northbound. One of the construction crews that was going to pick up the concrete barriers to block off more permanent lane markings on the interstate was traveling northbound, and it was a big, huge construction front loader with the big forklifts on it to move these 1,000-pound concrete barriers. As Deputy Hartwick was facing to the north, the loader, driven by a Hispanic male by the name of Victor Vasquez, struck Deputy Hartwick and killed him instantly, and he died at the scene.
What a terrible story. Our hearts pour out to the family, the friends, the fellow deputies, colleagues of Pinellas County Deputy Sheriff Mike Hartwick, 51 years old, who was showing up just to an off-duty traffic control job on 275 on that construction zone just south of the Ulmerton and MLK split. And no idea that he was going to show up for a little overnight off-duty extra money, and no idea that was going to be the last moments that he'd have on planet Earth. I mean, I can't even fathom it. I can't even imagine it. What a tragedy. All right, more from Bob Gualtieri, the Pinellas County Sheriff.
After hitting Deputy Hartwick, Vasquez continued north, probably for about a quarter of a mile, pulled the loader off into a parking area, got out, told another construction worker that he had just killed a deputy, and took off his helmet, took off his vest, and began running from the scene.
Jeez.
The other worker took his vest and his helmet and hid it in a wooded area to the west of the location. Vasquez is still at large. We're seeking him now actively.
And he's been caught.
Again, his name is Victor Vasquez.
They've got him.
Hispanic male, about 35 years old. We believe that he's still on foot.
All right, so he's been captured. The breaking news that we just had a few minutes ago is he is in custody, confirmed by the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office. The suspect who killed the deputy with the front-end loader in the construction zone and then fled on foot is now in custody. And then another construction worker is in trouble because he apparently hid the vest and the helmet of Victor Vasquez.
Must have been his good buddy or something.
What the hell's that guy thinking?
Was he insane?
Two of these construction workers are now facing charges. Clearly, Vasquez is facing the more serious of charges, but the other construction worker is going to face charges, maybe obstruction or
He's
something.
An accessory.
Accessory after the fact.
What a story. I mean, how does this happen? You know, if it was an accident, if the Vasquez, if he did not see the deputy sheriff and it was purely an accident, why would you flee?
I mean, who knows what his record looks like? Who
or
knows
if his immigration status? You know, who knows what's going on?
There's definitely a reason.
But did this guy think that he would get far? He's just compounded the charges against him. It might have been a total accident, and now he's turned this into like a felony fleeing or something. I don't know what they're going to charge him with, but I'm sure we'll find out. All right, any more from the sheriff from this morning? Let me see if this clip is still relevant.
Deputy Hartwick's family's been notified, and again, it's an active investigation. I'm telling you what I know at this point. The charges against Vasquez are leaving the scene of an accident involving death.
There we go.
Secondary felony. The other guy that helped him get rid of his vest and his helmet and his other equipment, he's been charged with being an accessory after the fact. He's in custody now.
Accessory after the fact. Andrew, you were right, yeah. Well, I guess you heard the audio bite. That's the first time I was hearing that particular clip from the presser from this morning. But so sorry. So sorry about this. Can you imagine you show up for an off-duty construction traffic control job just to keep the area safe. You
Easy work.
You show up to keep the area safe. You sit there. You have your lights flashing to try to slow down traffic that's whizzing by on 275 South. And then you've got a construction worker that kills you with a front-end loader. And then he flees.
Yeah, there to protect the workers.
Yeah, exactly.
There to protect
100%.
them.
You protected from the workers.
Well, this particular guy, what a freak accident. And then the circumstances afterward are completely inexcusable on the part of this construction worker. Wow. Again, folks, heads up. We've got a potential hurricane headed our way. We are in the cone. So if you look at Fester, bring up I love Tropical Tidbits. You ever go there? Go to Tropical Tidbits.
Tropical
Tidbits. And then
it sounds like a kind of pineapple.
It's a great website. Tropical Tidbits. Bring that up. And then I want to look at the latest models. I've got it right here. And then if we go to current storms, and then we want to bring up if his website gets jammed, sometimes it does. No, but it looks like it's working. So now it is.
Is it 9?
It's number 9. So let me bring up Tropical Depression number 9. And if we look at the National Hurricane Center forecast, this is going to be probably the 8 a.m. intermediate. No, it's still the 5. Oh, they're not doing it intermediates yet. So this is the 5 a.m. The 5 a.m. Atlantic Standard Time. Again, the whole state of Florida up to about Gainesville and up past, what is that?
Kind of just south of Big Bend.
Past Crystal River. So, Gainesville, the whole state of Florida,
Near
East
Chiefland.
Coast, West Coast, everything is in the cone.
Yeah.
And the National Hurricane Center has a hurricane. They have like a Category 2 running into the west coast of Florida Wednesday morning at 2 a.m., and it looks to be in that between Naples and Fort Myers, Cape Coral, Punta Gorda, Port Charlotte area. That's where it looks like they have it now. But, of course, you can't count on this. This thing can wobble all over the place. It could go closer toward Miami. It could come closer toward the Tampa Bay area. You got to just pay attention as we have tropical activity after a quiet early season, no name storms in August. Now we're past the statistical peak, which is September 10th and 11th, somewhere in that vicinity. And here we are, and we've got the activity heating up. So we're going to be dealing, the state of Florida, according to all the models, we are going to be dealing with a hurricane sometime mid next week. Now, they tend to be able to get the track pretty close, but still the intensity is what they still have difficulty with. They have it as a Category 2 right now, but that could be less. Or it could be more. And again, where it hits, it could be anywhere within the cone, as the National Hurricane Center will say. If you look at some of the computer runs, you look at some of the computer modeling right now, and if I look at the ensemble, the global ensemble, the center line appears to right now be going into like the Fort Myers, Punta Gorda type area. Is where it looks like it's going. That's then we have the GFS ensembles. GFS has it a little bit more over to the west and hitting a little north of the Tampa Bay area. So there's quite a range here. There's quite a range, and the models tend to come into more agreement as obviously the hours click on. But just don't take this for granted. Use this weekend as a wake-up call that yes, we're in hurricane season, and we've got activity. Suddenly, we're under threat here in the state of Florida. So whatever you do, do not ignore this. Make sure you have your supplies. Make sure you're ready, because we ultimately don't know where exactly it's going to be and what the intensity is going to be until later on early next week. But just make sure you're ready, because we're all in the cone. This looks like it's going to be a Florida hurricane event Tuesday night, Wednesday morning here in the state of Florida. So that's where we are. Anything you want to add, Froggy, Fester? You hurricane experts over there?
So I am always Mr. Wait till a hurricane's actually on the map before I make a hurricane preparedness kit. I don't have, 20 gallons of water just sitting in my garage waiting for a potential storm.
Well, why would you wait until the last minute? Why don't you get ready?
I don't think
why
this
don't you
is
get
the
ready
last
in
minute.
Why don't you get ready in June? I mean, have your water, have your supplies, have your flashlights,
You
your
should
batteries.
really always have them ready.
I have flashlights. I have batteries. So what I need now? I need some canned goods, possibly, right? Or some gallons of water.
Mm-hmm.
Fill the bathtub with water. I mean, trying to think of hurricane preparedness things now. I saw earlier that they had it tracked potentially, and I know you said they really can't determine intensity, but possibly a category.
Well, I said a 2.
2, yeah.
I said they have it as a 2. But so right now, the National Hurricane Center and the forecasters, they have it as what appears to be a category 2 whacking into the west coast of Florida, south of the Tampa Bay area, but that could change, late Tuesday night into early Wednesday morning next week. So they have it as a 2. But one of the problems is intensity forecasting. So right now they have it as a 2, but it could easily be a 1, or it could bump up to a 3 or a 4. So they can get the track down pretty well, but the intensity forecasting, we're not quite there on really nailing that down.
So it's going to roll right over Cuba. Hopefully it breaks up a little bit or slows down a little bit over Cuba.
That's what you hope. But listen, the Gulf waters are warm as a bathtub.
Yeah.
And that feeds this. So it's going to have plenty of warm water, and warm water is food. And then you want to look to see if there are any upper level currents and shear, anything that could, kind of retard development. And, it looks like the conditions they think are good for a Florida hit, and a category 2 is their guess right now. So there we have it.
Moving my deck chairs.
Yeah, listen, I'm going to take in. We'll watch over the weekend. We'll have a much better, I think, feel for what's going on probably late on Sunday into Monday. When we're back with you on Monday morning, I think we're going to have a much better feeling, an idea what the track is going to look like. And remember, with a hurricane or a tropical system, it's the front right quadrant. So it is the northeastern side. That's where the most dangerous winds and the most dangerous potential of the storm is. So if that stays south of us, we might have minimal effects. But again, over the years, I've been in Florida since 1992. I came to Florida in 92, literally a month after Hurricane Andrew. I came to West Palm Beach in September of 1992. So a month after Hurricane Andrew, and I've been paying attention to these damn things ever since. And we've seen them crisscross. Remember Polk County, 3 hurricanes essentially crisscrossed at the same intersection? Remember that year? Was that 2004?
Well, that was exciting.
That was a crazy year. We've seen them coming right for us. Listen, Hurricane Charlie was coming right for us and then turned into Port Charlotte and Punta Gorda. How about the one a couple of years back? It was headed right towards us, and then this is like 3-4 years ago.
Irma?
Was it Irma? Was heading right up the coast, right into Tampa Bay, and then it cut across and ended up just to the east of I-75, down around Naples. So this stuff changes. All right, the Buccaneers apparently told Brady to show up on Wednesday. Did you see this?
What? He doesn't have the power to take off a whole Wednesday?
They did not have a great game against the Saints.
Right.
And they have a really tough game this weekend.
The deal is, and the controversy there, that one of the Packers players' fathers, was he part of the independent arbitration committee that was reviewing Mike Evans' appeal? No, seriously.
How is that not?
There's a whole deal. I got to find. I think I have the story here somewhere, and I put it in the pile. But I got crap all over the place today, so I don't know what the hell I did with it. But I got to try to find it. But the latest on Tom Brady is he did show up for practice on Wednesday, as we told you yesterday, and apparently the Buccaneers made the decision after we were told that Tom Brady was going to have Wednesdays off this season. I don't know if that was going to be a compromise to kind of smooth things over with Giselle and the whole family situation, whatever the hell's going on. But Tom Brady was supposed to have Wednesdays off, but then guess what? The word is that the Buccaneers changed their mind. And according to the NFL Network's Ian Rappaport, Brady back at practice on Wednesday. Originally, it was supposed to be off, but then there was a new decision. Boop! Wednesday's no longer off for Tom Brady.
Hey, we're gonna need you, Tom. It's only a few days before game day. We gotta get you in this.
No problem. I'll be there.
Yeah. So the Packers have a lineman, John Runyon Jr. Now his dad was a force of a lineman, John Runyon.
All right. So do you have the story? There's a controversy here.
Yeah. So John Runyon, he's like in charge of the committee that's over like what player gets suspended, and he looks at the infractions.
But his son is on the Packers.
His son plays for the Packers.
And then we're playing the Packers. It's our first home game at Ray J on Sunday. And you have a father of a Packers player that was part of whether the Mike Evans suspension for clocking that Marshawn, Lattimore?
Marshawn Lattimore from the Saints.
Right. And, of course, Mike Evans was suspended for a game. And you have the Packers player's father that was part of the decision-making process or part of the independent, appeal process?
So John Runyon Sr., he's been in this position with the NFL for about over 5 years.
Right.
And the son came out yesterday and said to ESPN, listen, he's just going to do his job. It doesn't matter that his son plays for the Packers.
Mm-hmm.
And John Runyon, when he played for the Eagles, I think he was like the player rep to the league. He's always had a high ethical and is always honored or respected amongst his peers. So I don't think he'd do anything just because his son's team.
But we have this whole conspiracy that, of course, the Packer player's father, what does it say? The initial decision was made. Is this, scroll down. So is this for the suspension?
So John
Runyon Jr. addresses the notion that his father suspended Mike Evans to help the Packers. But listen, I mean, it does appear to be a potential conflict of interest. Shouldn't you recuse yourself if your son is on the Packers? They're playing the Bucs. Shouldn't you recuse yourself from being part of the decision to suspend Mike Evans?
You would think you have to.
I would think so.
Playing the one team your kid plays for, I'll recuse.
The initial decision was made by former NFL player John Runyon. His son plays for the Packers. The Packers play the Bucs on Sunday. Obviously, it helps the Packers if Evans doesn't play. So that's the conspiracy theory.
Well, how is it? It's not even a conspiracy. It's a darn fact.
But if everything stated as a fact, but if John Runyon Sr., the director of player infractions there at the NFL, he doesn't care.
All right, when we get back, got a quick break here. When we get back, we got a lot of loose ends in the final chunk of the MJ Morning Show next. What a busy day. It's all discombobulated in here. There's just so much stuff coming at us today with the deputy sheriff losing his life, the traffic issues. We got a hurricane that is coming toward Florida. Tropical depression right now, but it's It's TD9, right? We're not even named yet. So it could be named later today. Just a busy day. When we get back, I want to get Michelle on the phone because Michelle has like a legal observation of the radio morning guy in St. Louis that was also the Fox News anchor for Fox 2 in St. Louis. He's out of the morning show job. He's out of the job. He's been fired by Fox in St. Louis for going off on a female coworker off the air with just a horrific tirade, berating her. But Michelle has my lovely lawyer wife has some interesting legal observations regarding the whole story, which we'll get to next, and a lot of other things in the final chunk of, you got to hear what she's dug up on this thing. And it was something that I was curious about. We talked about it. She did a little research, but there might be a little curveball coming your way in just a couple of moments here on the MJ Morning Show, so stand by. All right. 9:05, 9:33, final chunk of the program here on a Friday, heading into a weekend where we might have some hurricane activity. Again, you have the European model pushing this thing closer into southwest Florida, into like the Fort Myers, Punta Gorda kind of area. Then you have the GFS, the U.S. model, is pushing it more closer to Tampa Bay. So, again, if you look at the National Hurricane Center, it appears that they're favoring more of the European, the UK model, and they're sticking with it, sort of rolling into the Fort Myers area as a Category 2 hurricane around 2 a.m. on Wednesday morning. So Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. But, folks, the whole state is in the cone. So be prepared this weekend. Some final words on that in just a second. Let me get my wife on the phone. Calling Michelle at the house. And Michelle had an interesting observation. We spent a lot of time this week on this morning show guy and a Fox 2 newscaster, an anchor.
Hello.
Hey, Michelle, up in St. Louis. And the guy's name is Vic Faust. And the guy did a morning show. He was on like 8 to 10 a.m. for like a couple of hours every morning on a station in St. Louis. And then he would do the 5 p.m. and the 9 p.m. Fox 2 News as an anchor in St. Louis. The guy goes off on a female coworker. So in the studio, he goes off during a commercial break. And, Michelle, we listened actually last night to what led up to it on the air, and they were having I don't need to play it, but they were having an argument over, like, the computer, and their on-air argument then carried over to the private argument off the air when they went to a commercial break, and we believe that she must have recorded it on her cell phone. We were trying to figure out if it was recorded on just the recorder and the mics in the studio were picking it up off the air. But upon further analysis, it seems that she just hit like a voice recorder on her cell phone and she recorded the audio. Now, Michelle, let me play just a little bit of the audio of this guy, Vic Faust, just obliterating, I mean, really just ripping into this female co-host.
Listen, you're a fat nasty and you don't bring up on air when I have your back. You're a fat. I don't care if you're here or
Be
not.
like that, guys. Come on, man.
Serious?
I let it go yesterday.
But you called me stupid for the
Because
second
who
time.
brought up the stupid subject? You
wasn't a
called,
stupid
you
subject.
were making fun of me because I was dealing with the computer.
Chris was too. It wasn't just me.
No, he
Chris
wasn't.
was. Yes, he said, "Oh
He
my God,
didn't
it's going to be
say
here in 3
anything-
weeks."
He didn't say anything on air.
Yes, he did. Go back and
You
listen.
have
He
a
was
history-
laughing when I
you
did
have a
it.
history of attacking me on air, and
No,
Chris
I
knows.
don't. You have a history of attacking me on air. Are you kidding?
You and your big fat looking at don't come back.
I mean, calling her fat and bleep this, the
How thin is
F-bomb.
this guy? Could you imagine if every time we attacked each other, which is every day, we blew up like this?
We don't attack each other every day.
I mean, we make gentle.
little
And
ribs.
I did say you're a size 48 short suit size.
I called you a midget yesterday. It's ribs. It's fun.
It is kind
I mean,
of fun.
how thin is this guy's like, you were making fun of me.
You called me stupid on the air?
Well, how old is he?
All right,
Froggy,
so
fat pig?
Michelle's on the phone, and Michelle, you've got an interesting angle here, and it's very funny because I thought of the same thing. Who recorded this? And then I wanted to know what was the law in Missouri as far as recording. Is it a two-party state, a one-party consent state? And Michelle, you did a little research on this last night, right?
I did.
All right, so tell us what we need to know, because everyone's talking about. I talked to BJ out in Denver.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, yeah, we played that thing 5 times.
That was our whole show.
Yeah. All right, so Michelle, what have you dug up on the situation?
Well, it is illegal in the state of Missouri to record any conversation with criminal or tortious intent.
So you might be able to record, for instance, if one of the parties knows that a phone call or a private conversation is being recorded, but Michelle dug up that it's illegal if you have criminal intent or tortious intent. So, right. Michelle, what do you think this potentially means?
Well, she didn't record the conversation to preserve her position because she quit that day.
Oh, yeah. So she quit the show that day. After that fight, after the show, she walked out. She quit. So they fire the guy. She quits. That's why they have no morning show. That's why it was taken off their website. Because you figure, well, why didn't she keep her job? Because she walked out. She quit. All right. So, Michelle, we believe that after the on-air discussion, which led to the off-air fight and him going ballistic on her, it seems that in a premeditated fashion, she knew that something bad could happen, so she rolled audio recording on her phone.
It seems that way. Or, maybe it was being recorded in the studio.
It sounds like, the more that I think about it, it sounds like it might have been recorded on the phone.
It sounds like the conversation was going on for like 15 or 20 seconds, and she's like, this guy's not going to stop. I'm going to record him.
Right.
And she just opened up the recorder on her phone and got it.
But Michelle,
doesn't matter. He's still not going to get a job anywhere.
But here's the deal. So the guy lost 2 jobs. He lost the radio morning job. He lost the TV job, a plum job as a Fox newscaster and anchor in St. Louis. So, Michelle, you think, though, while his career is totally screwed, you think that she could potentially be in legal jeopardy, right?
Well, she could be perhaps civilly liable for all of his losses, because if they can prove that she recorded it with tortious intent, meaning like to get him fired or to get him in trouble, then, there might be a claim there.
I don't know, man.
You could defend this guy. He's a bum.
Yeah, you put me in front of a jury of my peers on that one.
The way he was talking to her? Oh, my God.
Yeah, I don't know.
That was foul. I've never heard anyone talk to anyone in radio like that. I've seen arguments. We've had fights. We've had disagreements. We've had yelling matches. But nothing ever in my 40 years of broadcasting. Come next month, October, I will be in radio for 40 years.
40 years?
40 years, yep. I started in 1982. So October of 1982 is my first job.
Yeah,
So
and all the arguments over those years that we've had, none of them have been abusive like this.
This is just absolute flat-out abuse. You're 100% right. But Michelle thinks that, hey, if she did this with tortious intent and recorded it and then released it, because she must have released it.
Right.
It was released anonymously to the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. But it sounds like she recorded it on her phone. Why? Because when you listen to the audio, she is very, very clear, meaning she's close to her phone, and then the other audio is a little bit more in the background. So that's why I think it was recorded on her phone. And if it's on her phone, then anonymously leaked to the St. Louis newspaper? No. I mean, my guess would be that she leaked the audio.
Good for her.
Probably only 3 people would have had access to recording it and then leaking it.
Yeah.
He's not going to do it.
Yep.
And the other guy in the studio is probably not going to do it because why would he? Job preservation is,
Come on, guys, stop!
Yeah, that guy just inherited a morning show.
I don't know. Maybe.
So, Michelle, first of all, what does tortious mean? Because I thought you said tortoise.
Yeah, me too. I'm
I'm
thinking
like,
turtle.
what does a turtle have to do with? Well, I mean, I know the wheels of justice move slow sometimes, but what is it? So, what does tortious mean?
With the intent to harm somebody, right? So, if she recorded it with the intent to do something with it to, cause him a problem, then that's tortious.
I don't know. It's his own words against him.
It's wrongful.
He's in a studio full of recording.
He's in a radio studio.
But that's even more to the point, because if he shut all the mics off and he shut all the recording off and they knew they were going off stream, then he had the expectation of privacy even more so maybe than the person who was just in any other room.
You know what's funny? In our lobby here at our radio station, there's a sign, and it's it's a very well made sign. It's printed out on a piece of office paper.
Very well made.
It's
actually inscribed with calligraphy on a platinum platter.
No, it's well made. MJ, it's on a piece of regular office paper held up on the window of our office by a piece of tape.
Yeah.
And it says, upon entering these premises,
you consent to being recorded or videoed or whatever.
At all times.
Yeah.
So there's no expation of privacy at anything I say at this radio station.
That's different. That's different, because there is a notice, and it's the employer who is making you aware of that. But if somebody else, like if you're in a cafe and you guys record somebody, then there's no expectation of privacy. But that sign doesn't cover you going into the bathroom. You think you're being recorded when you go into the bathroom?
I do.
Who thinks that
I put on a show?
Who thinks this is the first time this guy's talked to her this way?
I
He talks to her like this every day, probably.
I think Beasley has a Beasley bathroom web series coming out very shortly.
I mean, just for the hits, just for the clicks. They make like $2 for every 1,000 clicks. It's crazy.
All right, Michelle, I'm going to run. Thank you for your legal interpretation, but she could be the one in trouble here.
That would not be cool.
From a legal standpoint, she could be the one in trouble.
That legal mind, I don't like it.
All right, folks, busy weekend. Go Bucks and Packers. No Mike Evans. We've got a hurricane potentially coming our way. It looks like the west coast of Florida, as of this moment, is going to be impacted with a hurricane late Tuesday into early Wednesday. Right now, the National Hurricane Center, they have it headed more south of us toward Fort Myers and Port Charlotte, that kind of area. But we know how these things wobble. Don't look at that right now. We're still days away, and this thing can intensify more. It can track differently. So pay attention and get prepared this weekend with potential hurricane activity headed toward the west coast of Florida. It's probably going to change. We've seen the wobbles, but it looks like it is headed toward Florida. I don't think it's going to suddenly head to Louisiana, is what I'm saying. So we just heard that I-275 northbound has been reopened. Andrew, what info did Pat just give you?
That's all I was able to get from him.
Okay.
All right, so I-275 northbound was shut off, so that is now reopened. I-275 north, after the accident that killed Mike Hartwick, a 19-year veteran of the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office. Just a terrible story. Killed by a construction worker at a construction scene that he was doing off-duty traffic control on late last night. And then the construction worker who killed him with a front-end loader then flees. He was on the run. He was caught within the last hour after being on the run for, 9 or 10 hours. Just a very horrific situation. So, very busy day here at the MJ Morning Show. All right, guys, think of final